What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Why is my face so full here? What's going on here? What on earth is going on here? I think maybe Drunk Scribbles did some stupid video editing. That's what I think happened. Let's fix that. That might have been from Friday night stream with me just doing stupid stuff. How are we all doing? This should be fit to screen. Looking a little bit normal now. A little bit more normal now. How's it going, everybody? How's it going, tribe? Hopefully we're good. Hopefully we're good. I can see June. I can see Leah. Piggy Pandas. How you doing, brother? Scribazzle. Buenas, Scribe. Mucho éxito hoy en la GAC. Sí, claro, Leah. ¿Qué tal, hombre? Ho ho! Bearded Viking with the resub. 3 months with Prime. Thank you so much, dude. How's it going, guys? Let's go. It's a me, a Scribble. Greetings from San Francisco, babe. Isn't that a beautiful South song? Take the kiddies to the park. Don't marry her, fuck me. And we're demonetized on YouTube. I swear there's some lyrics there that are part of a beautiful South song. Boom, boom, ba-da-mo. Yeah. How did everybody's round 2 of GAC goes? Are you all winners? I mean, you're winners in my heart. In my mind, you're part of the tribe, and that automatically kind of makes you all winners. But how do you guys feel? Do you guys feel like winners? First time watching Tribe Talks live, Nitro. Wow. Welcome to the show, buddy. Welcome to the show. Compliance training tomorrow. Bought my pillow and volume. Ooh. Well, compliance training. What sort of compliance? Compliance with what exactly? Regulations? Law? I mean, it doesn't sound particularly intriguing, Robbie. I will be brutally honest with you, my good sir. Now, I do have a slight bit of disappointing news for you guys. I just realized we've still got that shot counter up. It's probably not clever for that. If I go over to sessions data and we just... I just reset that business and then save it, and then that should get reflected then. Although it's not getting reflected for some reason. That's absolutely fine. Yesterday, I see the Intensely 2. Intensely 2? What's that, Leah? ¿Qué es Intensely 2? Sheffield. Jamie from Sheffield, mate. A little bit closer to home than for your boy Scribble. I mean, not home, obviously, for me, but much closer than San Francisco, at the very least. How's life in Oh! Inside Out 2. How was it? How was it? ¿Bien o mal? Lo siento, solo hablo un poco de español, ¿vale? Sorry, I'm just collecting, like, energy and stuff like that. You know, it's... Ooh, I got 50 crystals from the daily objectives. That's not too shabby. Napkin, my brother. How you doing? How you doing? Thank you for your donation on Friday, by the way, buddy. What's going on, my boy Wolfie? Chrissy, how you doing? How you doing? Save that. Say something. I'm giving up on blue. Do. Bear with me, guys. I'm just trying to fix some stuff over here real quick. I don't know why that's not fixing. It just doesn't want to work. When you tell family members that they have stage whatever. Oh, that kind of compliance training. That's some heavy compliance training, dude. Like, I don't envy you, brother. Sipping on a cheeky whiskey. Chrissy, what whiskey you drinking, my dude? Ordered a bottle of Fernet from your local liquor store. Just too curious. June, I don't blame you, dude. I mean, if Ranger's got anything to go by, it's going to taste like the devil's taint. So, if it turns out to be disgusting, you only have yourself to blame, good sir. All right? You only have yourself to blame. You've got a bottle of Lagavulin? Is that French? Or is that actually Irish? Is that like actual Irish whiskey? 16 years old. What's going on, Vash? How you doing, my dude? You alright? It's Scotch. Oh, okay. I don't recognize it at all. Lagavulin. Scotch whiskey. Lagavulin. I mean, it looks nice. Scotch whiskey. Nothing wrong with a bit of Scotch whiskey, my friend. Very special. Good. I mean, I spent, like it was showing up on websites I was looking there, about 60, 70 pounds a bottle. I spent a similar amount on my dad's birthday whiskey, but his was like a Penderyn Gold. I decided my dad doesn't often get nice presents, so I'll get him a nice bottle of whiskey. We had a snifter of it when he came around my house. It was delicious. And then my brother and I proceeded to drink 3/4 of a bottle of Woodford Reserve. We got a little bit merry. We drank the whole damn thing. It was great. Got a headache, but other than that, I'm good. Oh, I'm sorry you got a headache, Vash, but I'm glad you're good otherwise, dude. Can't be having headaches on a Sunday. Oh yeah, sorry guys, I had some bad news, didn't I? Now, we know this is the last GAC, right? We've got the off week coming up. We've got a GAC match basically at turnover today, and then we're off for a week, right? Well, your boy Scribble is also away. I have to go away for work tomorrow, and I'm not back until Wednesday. So I'm probably not going to be streaming for a couple of days. So I'm sorry. But on the other side, there's nothing going on. So I will be able to get out the Galactic Challenge video tomorrow morning, provided it doesn't take me too long, because my train's at 12. So I will have a couple of hours to get that sorted, provided it's not too much hassle. But after that, I'm going to be MIA, guys. I'm going to be MIA. I know, how very dare I? And here I am. I'm on a massive drive right now. I'm on a massive drive to push my YouTube channel to new heights, okay? I'm fed up of being, a little bit. I've had a taste of freedom. I've had that taste of beauty, where we've gone up like 8-fold in viewership year on year. Huge, massive increases in viewership. But I want to do that again over the next 12 months. I want to shoot to the moon. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to need your guys' help. You guys are going to have to be upstanding members of the tribe here. And tell me where I'm going wrong and tell me what I can do better. So that I can make it happen, Captain. You know what I mean? So having 3 days away makes me cry. I think we've had someone join the PC. Whoa, Wolfie!
Something about needing a massive drive, and I don't know.
A massive penis,
mildly aroused. I'm mildly aroused.
I'm very aroused. How you doing?
What's
Wolf?
happening?
Okay, dude? Oh, we good.
Chilling,
We good.
rocking.
Good.
The eternal question I always got to ask: is my audio fucked, or is it?
You sound beautiful today. You sound beautiful.
Dope.
Are you back
Dope.
home now? Are you not with your mom?
Indeed, I am.
No longer dog sitting?
Indeed, they are back as of Thursday, and I am back in my own place and
Good.
reassembled and whatnot. But you know how it be.
I just seen that I've got that there. We can't have that. Sorry,
Yeah,
I did Friday drunk stream, and then I tried to get Ranger on here live whilst I was pissed, and I've messed up all my scenes apparently. So go me. Scribbles is a clever sausage. Yeah.
Emphasis on the sausage.
Oh yeah. Well, we all love a good sausage, don't we? So.
Baby.
Oh baby. Oh baby. I don't drive. That is absolutely right, Robbie. Higher than 8 times, you deserve more. Oh, thank you, Chrissy. So yeah, life is good. Life is great. But I am away for the next couple of days, which makes me cry a little bit inside. But hey ho. We'll see what happens the week after, though, because the week after, Mrs. Scribble has to go away for work. So maybe we can do a bit more streaming than we normally do.
You mean subathon?
Potentially. It could happen. It's been a while since I've done a subathon. It's been a while. We could see how long we could make a subathon last. I was not tipsy at all, Robbie. Actually, I think I was stone cold sober the whole time. I might not remember half the stream, but I'm pretty sure that I was sober. We got through half a bottle of whiskey, so that's okay.
It seems legit.
Ah, I could believe it. Party at my place. Hey, John, mate, honestly, if you were catching a flight all the way from the States, I guess I would probably have to do a party. But I wouldn't expect something like that. The good old Diskins cider. Yeah, Diskins. Not Dickens, Diskins. Diskins cider. I have it on good authority.
The Dickens is that's the Australian brand.
Exactly.
Have a good old Dickens cider.
Oh, dear me. Dear me.
It looks like Karth is in VC, but is not.
Is.
Oh, I'm here.
Hey, Karth.
He's just keeping to himself.
He just didn't want to have a chat. That's all it was.
I'm just messing around with other stuff while you guys jibber jabber. So.
Jibber jabber.
Jibber jabber.
Jibber jabber. I barely know her.
Yeah, no, I'm doing theory crafting on TFP. So.
Oh. Okay. For what? For DTMG with Death Trooper Peridea?
No, not even with him. I don't think Death Trooper Peridea even makes the team.
Oof.
Have
you done it? Well, this already sounds like something that we could talk about on Tribe Talks, to be honest.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. Just saying.
Well, then start the intro, you lazy shit.
Oh, start the intro. I could do that. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This is Tribe Talks, a Galaxy of Heroes podcast featuring the Welshman, the Whale, and the Wolf, the order of which nobody really knows. We just say what comes to mind. Sometimes we talk about nothing other than Star Wars, Galaxy of Heroes, and other times we talk about stuff. That's right.
Allegedly.
Just don't take us to a court of law. Wolfie is very off kilter here. I definitely messed around with my windows for this. All these people that are listening on like Spotify or something like that are like, what are you talking about, Scribbles? We don't see anything. I don't see nothing.
There's a lot of commenting on the visual aspect of this audio medium.
Yeah, well, exactly. Exactly.
Which is nothing about too hard.
I'll be like, okay, those of you listening on Spotify, how many fingers am I holding up? See what I did there?
15.
15. I've got a lot of fingers. Holy shit.
Ooh, baby.
Oh, baby. Yeah, I did like 3 to the power of 5. 15 fingers. Does that even math? Yeah, that maths. We're okay.
You are still like zoomed like way the fuck in. I'm like only.
Why are you?
I'm
so
like
zoomed
only
in?
show.
Why
Like what
is
the hell's going on,
everybody
man?
fucking zoomed in? What
Everything
did I
is
do?
fucking awful. Oh my god.
What did I do? Like we can
don't
count the
know.
number of whiskers on Wolfie's mustache. Okay, hold up. Professional streamer here. Okay, let's get Wolfie to be full screen because we like his beautiful face. Let's get Wolfie to be tiny because we like his beautiful face. Like Wolfie's like, on that note, I'm gonna drink a bunch of whiskey. There we go. We're getting there. Holy shit! I didn't realize Wolfie's camera was so big.
Yeah, right?
Wolfie
I mean, you
is
don't need
so
to capture
big,
all
bro.
of that shit. I mean, you don't need my fucking microphone in the camera.
I need
You
all
silly
of it,
bastard.
Wolfie. You stupid son of a bitch, Scribe! Get that camera off.
Oh, it tracks. That tracks.
No, your camera tracks. I have it, on
does
good
right.
authority.
It
does
does
when
track.
Tell it to him.
Yeah. Quite literally tracks. Quite literally. I was being very literal there. Hi, gentlemen.
Howdy.
Hello.
How was your weekend, everybody?
Warm.
Not bad.
Warm. Yeah, mine was also warm. It was also warm. It was not pleasant sometimes.
I don't think it's the same level of warm though.
No. But it's subjectively warm.
Because where are you at in your Celsius degrees?
I spilled my drink. It's been in the high 20s to low 30s. I don't know how that translates.
I've been in the low 40s for Celsius.
Yeah, that's too warm. I don't want none of that. I want none of that.
100 plus. Yeah, it's been great. Great weekend.
That's disgusting. Why would you even? Who decided to turn the thermostat up so high? That's just stupid.
The person decided to watch the state go up in smoke. But on the other side of the coin, air conditioning is a thing, and it's 70 degrees in the house, and I'm fine. So I don't give a shit.
Fair enough.
There we go.
Yeah. I just
Scribe's like, go fuck yourself.
Go fuck you. Kindly.
Central air is a fun thing to have.
Yeah, we don't do that here.
Silly little.
We do
UK
person.
houses
that are too warm in the heat of summer and just about livable in winter.
Yeah, that tracks.
That's how we roll. We're not built for extreme temperatures. We are built for wet weather. That's all. It just rains a lot. It rains a lot in the UK. So
there you go.
Yeah, it's a hard life. It's a good job.
I mean, it rains a lot in the U.S. too, but it just depends on where you are.
Yeah. I mean, the U.S. is it's only a really small island, right?
Oh yeah, tiny place. Barely takes up any surface area of the Earth. It's
exactly.
like truly minimal. Yeah.
Yeah, really
Absolutely.
small. Really small.
Yeah.
So it's not like you could have like different weather climates in different parts of the states, right?
Nah. Just it's crazy talk. Absolute
Crazy talk
nonsense.
to me. I don't think any of it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So we had a new kit come out. New character was released.
We did?
Yeah.
Was it?
This week?
Yeah.
Oh, it was this week.
Yeah. It's got a TW Omicron that we can't really use unless you really want to use like Moff Gideon lead.
Yeah, my last couple weeks have just been. Woo,
No,
so
you can
yeah, it
use
was this week. Yeah, cool. We got a new kit. Dope.
Dope.
The Cron does things without the Omicron. Only has one thing that's slave to the support unique.
Yeah, but it's the most important part of it.
No,
The
it's not.
siphoning of mastery.
That's not tied to that.
I thought it was. I thought he could only siphon the mastery if the leader was a support.
No, the only thing he can do with leader support is whenever they get dazed, stunned, or whatever, they convert it into ramping speed.
Oh. Capture Peridea surface target which can't be resisted. If the target okay, well maybe I'm just being silly then. Maybe I'm just being silly.
It's just the unique. The unique is if the ally in the leader slot is an Imperial Remnant is not an Imperial Remnant tank. Whenever Imperial Remnant ally is dazed, stunned, shocked, or inflicted with speed down, all Imperial Remnant allies gain 15 speed, stacking to 60 for the rest of the battle.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the only part that requires a non-Imperial tank.
I thought there was another one that said something about if the leader is Imperial Remnant support, but it might not be part of the Omicron then.
It might be the addition on the Okay, yeah, it's the
Yeah.
necrotic tissue.
Yeah.
If the ally in the leader slot is an Imperial Remnant support, Death Trooper gains 10 stacks of Siphon for each debuff inflicted by this ability.
It's faster ramping of the Siphon.
Faster ramping of Siphon, but it doesn't prevent his Omicron from function.
No. Doesn't prevent the Omicron from nomming down on crit damage Siphon, just kind of slows it down a little bit. A little bit.
But I mean, I think all it's going to do is just when Night Trooper's Kron goes away, and until which I mean by that time Captain Enoch will be in the game. It will just rotate out who's the better option in the DTMG team in TW.
Yeah,
because I think Death Trooper Peridea will be the stronger character in TW, but the Kron right now makes Death Trooper or Night Trooper just way more powerful. So.
Yeah, Night Trooper's good business. He's good business. But I think, I imagine once...
Mine is 6 stars.
Woohoo! Yeah, it doesn't... I mean,
one of mine is 6 stars.
God's like, I have 2.
Well, I mean, it'd be really cool if they did the thing they said they were going to do, which was put them in shipments.
Combined, I have 13 stars.
And then they didn't, so yay. Well, he's in shipments. He got added to shipments, but he's not in the weekly store yet.
Okay.
Until the reset next week.
Yeah, even though he came well before this week's reset. So
yeah, it sounds like
I can see him right here in my shipments.
But not the weekly, you lying sack.
Oh, I know.
You lying sack of shit.
I did not specify. I did not lie. Damn it! You accused me of lying before I could finish my sentence. So there. My story, I'm sticking to
it. See?
But the fun part with this last update was that TIE Fighter pilot got the Imperial Remnant tag.
Yes. It did. Yeah, which kind of makes sense. Because we need an extra Imperial Remnant. So.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be a short-lived thing. But I think that also tells us how long the timetable is between now and GL Thrawn.
It's going to be a while,
yeah.
Well, I suspect
TIE Pilot is clapping cheeks, though.
Oh, TIE Fighter Pilot.
How it was doing damage.
Because he gets 35% damage on his basic for every debuffed enemy, and Demoralize counts as a debuff that can't be dispelled. So, super huge on that. But then on top of that, with DTMG lead, his unique granting him turn meter for every debuffed enemy at the end of his turns, then makes him also recover 10% health and protection because it's triggering for each enemy. So every time it checks, it gets 10%. So basically, TIE Fighter Pilot is recovering 50% health and protection at the end of every single one of his turns.
And he's gaining stupid amounts of TM, and he has one of the highest base speeds in the game anyway. So he's fast. Yeah. And you throw that like the attack again cron on him.
Yeah.
And he's like basicking for 60, 70k a hit. It's just like boom, boom, gaining loads of turn meter, recovering half his health and protection. You're like, shit.
putting tenacity down, putting an AoE ability, buff immunity, and a target ability block. Yeah, it's just a good time. It's so much fun.
So, and then the question is, what are they really doing? Like, what are they doing though? Like, what's TFP? He's doing his big old bops. He's doing like, what team are they taking out now? Like,
I know
what are they stopping now on defense? Like, what are they now stopping on defense? Because like Adrad can still take out DTMG, and he's gonna stop the turn meter gain very, very quickly on TFP. So I mean, I'm just thinking about like counters and whatnot. What is he stopping? What's he preventing? What game is he changing that makes it ridiculous?
Oh, defensively, not a damn thing. I mean, defensively, the majority of the same counters are still gonna work against them because of the TM manipulation part. Like Adrad's just gonna go, you're Empire, so pound some sand, get dazed, mother trucker,
brother truckers.
I think this will bring them into a much more reliable counter versus like Jabba. Not necessarily in GAC, but definitely in TW, because you'll loop around much more frequently. and then you'll get the tenacity down on basic, which gets then you can land the buff immunity on your special, which means when Scout gets its turn, you can strip the taunt off Chrysanthemum and just start wailing on the side characters. So I feel like it's going to give you a little bit more reliable counter in TW. I don't know how quite that
if you've got the Night Trooper Cron, I know you can just walk Jabba anyway, like with DTMG. It worked. Arnold was using it in Squad Arena, so there was no armies. It was just like, we just kick ass against Jabba.
Yeah, and the Omicron makes you stack to blight, like 20 stacks of blight so fast it's not even funny. Like you're just
Blight is kind of nice, to be fair.
You're just deleting things off the board.
You just doubloon things.
Yes.
Have a slice of doubloon.
You blow things up.
All about them doubloons.
But the question becomes is that with TFP getting that tag, who makes the final cut for both teams?
I don't know.
Because my head says that
it's a bit hard to say without Enoch, to be honest.
Without his kit, it's true. But I think the way in my head, the way it sits is that I think OG Death and Storm join Enoch with Night Trooper and Death Trooper Peridea.
Yeah, it's almost guaranteed they're going to force them onto that team. I mean, obviously Night Trooper and Death Trooper work great with Gideon right now with the Terminator removal and stuff. Yeah, but I can. If there's literally no chance that they're gonna make DTMG the better leader than that. They will find a way to make Enoch better. It's just it's guaranteed they're going to end up over there.
It's going to be
4th and 5th on the team is up for debate then.
Whatever Decay does, I'm sure Decay is going to have very unique synergy with Blight that they just work so well together.
That's what I'm saying is that Enoch, Storm or Night Trooper and Death Trooper Peridea, that's the core trio.
Sure.
Yeah. But then I think Stormtrooper and Death Trooper join them.
Okay.
Because Stormtrooper's TM strip does not much for the team, because you only negatively impact the offense of the enemy when they gain turn meter. So stripping it is good for control, but not necessary. And Death Trooper
deals damage, right?
With deals damage.
Yeah. Well,
with the Blight interaction.
No, the OG Death Trooper, not the new one.
No, I mean Stormtrooper.
The OG Stormtrooper's TM removal will work well with Blight. Is what Wolfie's getting.
Yeah.
Which is true. Well, it makes sense in my head anyway.
Yeah, the interaction on those two, I think that
was my thing exactly.
Because I don't. DTMG doesn't really need a second tank right now.
No.
Imperial Troopers are kind of a floundering team right now. They just lack real purpose and direction. And besides that, Admiral Piet so frequently needs to go hang out with Vader because of just you need the ability to ramp and put the taunt on him to keep your team kind of functional. That I don't think Troopers is really the issue. So I think Dark Trooper Moff Gideon picks up Moff Gideon, Scout, TIE Fighter pilot, and then the Dark Trooper. Though I could see Dark Trooper going to Dark Trooper and Death Trooper switching places because you can't revive Dark Trooper. But
remember Iden?
Do you remember Iden? Remember those days?
I love Iden.
She's still great in threes, to be honest.
Yeah, in threes, but fuck,
she's
her team
terrifying
got just absolutely. Her team got decimated though.
Yeah, they keep
lost
stealing
Stormtrooper. She lost Death Trooper.
Are we saying that Iden is the new Padme?
She really is. She really is the new Padme. She even has a cleanse. She goes on teams to cleanse. Oh my god, she's the new Padme. Done. Awesome.
She just doesn't have courage.
And she has a mass assist. Fuck.
She has a cleanse and a mass assist.
The leaders, right? That's her shtick.
But she does. She has the complete opposite of no TM manipulation, with just shitloads of TM manipulation. Instead. I do like Iden though. I have no regret of taking Iden.
Such a good team.
Yeah.
Oh, and if nothing else for the fleets. I mean, that ship is so damn good. Just TIE Defender, holy crap.
It
One of the best ships in the game.
It feels like it's rarer to have a pilot that also has a really good ship than to have a pilot where at least one element, either the ship or the pilot, is crap.
Yeah.
Maybe that's bias. Is that confirmation bias?
No, there's quite a few. There's quite a few, especially like the older ships, like the GR faction and the
Plo.
Yeah,
Plo is not bad. He's got turn meter. He's got dispel on basic. But when you're talking about a character like this, it's not because they're good.
Yeah. Well, it's like Plo is not bad, but when you look at the Jedi faction, it's not like you'd put him in the top 20.
Whenever you when you hear someone talking about a character with this tone of voice, like, I mean, he's not that bad. Like, he has some things. They're not a good character. I'm sorry.
No, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel looking for redeeming qualities.
It's like looking at like Jedi Consular and Clone Sergeant. Like they have some functionality, especially with the raid and other things. But
he's better than Heath Koth.
Poor Heath Koth. In a raid against droids, being the anti-droid specialist, he still doesn't get you.
Yeah, talk about a missed Ami opportunity. Like, even for like 9 months, if you threw like a 10-count Ami on him and made him like, whenever he uses his special, he instantly defeats target B1. Like, okay, cool, I'll take it. Like.
Or it could be as simple as whenever this character deals true damage, deal true damage again. So, like, you throw him in a Lumi team, and all of a sudden you're doing 2 instances of true. That would make that team fucking clap. That would shred through waves so quickly. It would be great.
It would make it so much more reliable, and that's all I'm looking for.
It's a pretty reliable team, but.
But you are counting on some counterattacks though, and if you don't get them before you get cleansed, it does mean your run usually goes to hell.
What's really frustrating is if the commander droid has got charge, and you're like, I'm gonna use Plo's AOE, and then commander droid just goes, no, and you're like, fuck you.
Yeah,
you piece of shit.
That is hands down one thing I wish they would fix with the raid, or at least I think that should be fixed, is that the commander droid can't target itself with the bonus turn. I think that's like the one thing that needs to go.
I went one step further with my feedback to CG. I said, just remove it. Get rid of it completely. Put another modifier in. I don't care where it is. Just get rid of that one. It's shit.
It helps you, though. In some of the teams, it does help you.
In the Lumi team, it really does help you if the commander droid doesn't get it. Because if they get bonus turns and you counterattack, it is actually really good because you can keep that potency up and heal over time forever. And that's great. But I would rather it just disappear because that's just a benefit for one team. For every other team, it's not good. And
I mean, again, if you change it so that the leader, the B1 can't get it, then you're still going to be okay with teams like Queen Amidala and Gungans and Keller and Beck, who doesn't really even care.
It'll still be annoying on some of them when you got like locked behind a droidica, but otherwise, it won't be that much of a problem.
When it's command droid and droidica and charge, it's just like, there goes 25% in rage. Because it's just like, and it's like, droidica's got damage immunity. Does droida get the bonus turn? Does he fuck? It's like, nope, not getting the bonus turn while I'm damage immune. As soon as he's out of damage immunity, he's there for half a second. You take a turn, you basic him. He goes down to red health with this much, and then he takes a bonus turn and just rolls up. And then the fucking command droid heals him up, and you're like, I now want
so many of those runs. I can't tell you how many runs it's been like, I use like Obi-Wan's AoE, and then one guy evades. And it's like 5 more turns trying to kill it. It's like, you son of a...
Yeah, you gotta love it. Everybody loves this new raid. It's the best raid they've ever done.
I mean,
I
the
managed
best raid since Challenge Rancor.
I managed last Tuesday. I think we had our raid launch, and I managed to get finished up in under 2 hours. I mean, there was a lot of screaming at the screen, a lot of yelling, but. Under 2 hours was like a fucking record. I didn't even know what to do.
How bad is that, though? How bad is that we're actually happy with under 2 hours to beat the raid?
It's really depressing.
In fairness, I was under 2 hours to do both accounts.
That's
the
like,
most
yeah, that's
depressing brag ever. Like this is so fucking sad, man.
Yeah.
Holy crap, this raid.
My yelling at the raid usually begins when I get this little notification that says your guild has launched a raid. I go, no!
I honestly started like just
Not
going,
again!
like, doing it day one and being done with it because I can't be under the gun to do it. And so it's like, all right, somewhere in the first like 12 hours, I'm just gonna take care of it and be done with it and move along. But like this last one, I was able to do both QA runs in one attempt, which
nice. Yeah,
that was nice to have done. I think the only one that took me a couple of attempts on each account was the Lumi run. And then after that, everything else was one attempt. I mean, Gungans was full auto. Separatist Droids
Gungans always is. Yeah.
Separatist
you're also
Droids
doing
was just a long
Separatist. You're doing the Relegate tier, so that's much easier.
Yeah.
Run.
Yeah.
So that one should be a full auto.
Yeah.
You have to help B2 target properly, but I mean, it's you can auto it, but just help target. I don't like to auto because the AI is stupid and they'll use like Staps AoE provoke ability with like 2 people on the board. It's like, really?
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's like I'll play it manually, but I mean, it's just a long fight, but it's not ever like I've only had one ever fail, and it's honestly because they like, oh, that's a cool. Oh, I got provoke on Sidious, and then they just wailed on Sidious till he died. And I was like, well, that's.
It's funny how sometimes they get an absolute bone to pick with Sidious. I've found that they were just like, we're going to do 17.5 attacks only on Sidious. Forget everybody else, just him, and that's a little bit frustrating.
And then B2 just never gets his cooldowns reduced the entire time, doing those like 18 attacks. You're like, what is this bullshit? Like the RNG for this is so trash.
Yeah. Isn't it supposed to be like 40% chance for B2? Something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. It's like 12 attacks later, you're like, B2, wake up!
Can you do your thing that you're supposed to do, please and thank you.
Yeah.
Dude, when that happens in GAC too, you're just sitting there like, there was an AoE. How did that 40 math? Come on.
4 people getting attacked, 40% chance. Come on, we should have had like 2 bonus turns at least.
Like, come on.
Precisely.
Yeah. It's the frustrating things, but you know.
How have your GACs gone this week? I mean, I know how Karth's round 2 went. At least you'd think I would know how Karth's round 2 went.
Hey, listen, I just know the
I
very
think we
end
won.
of it was a lot of shouting.
There was, but we won. We won. I'm pretty sure. But I think we won by the good grace of your opponent dropping far too many battles.
We won because Slacker held.
Yes.
And that was about it.
If we didn't full clear, would we have lost? I genuinely can't remember.
No. Well, yeah. If we didn't, we had to clear fleets no matter what.
Okay.
We got a little stuck on his Saw Gerrera team because we got to the point of just saying fuck it and threw things at the wall, and some of our things didn't stick very well.
Yeah, probably my brain. Or maybe my brain stuck very well. Maybe my brain was very sticky, and that was the problem.
Yeah, it was too sticky. Yeah,
you were a little too gooped up in the brain there.
Yeah, it was fine. You were just adamant that you knew how to play everything perfectly, which was fine.
We won.
Which was fine. But then, literally, like every third line out of your mouth was, "I'm too drunk for this."
Well,
so I'm trying to still coach you through it because you're just getting like literally you were like you'd get like 30 seconds to the battle and then you're just like, all right, we're good enough, and you just press auto, and then I'd have panic attacks as I'd watch the characters not do the things properly, but we'd still win, so it was okay. But it was just like,
see, you just need to trust me, dude. I mean, I
trust
clearly,
the full auto.
I clearly know. Well, it's a problem when full auto plays better than Scribble. So,
I mean, at the certain point, the biggest concern towards the end of it was you just forgetting you were in a battle, and then
not even full autoing, just not playing the game.
Just not playing it. So like it was like that's where it's like just press full auto. Like, come on, man. Like just be done with this.
Scribe, there's 45 seconds left of the battle. Can you can you do something?
A guy with a sliver of health left. Can you just attack that real fast? Press auto.
Maybe just consider it now. Okay.
Yeah, no, it was fine though. if he could have ended up clearing Slacker, he would have had to score 57 banners to win.
So no,
and his max he could get at the time was 27. So it wasn't any real threat.
So what you're saying is we kicked his ass.
What we're saying is that my defense did a really good job causing problems, because I don't think he would have dropped the other
Scribe
two
was
fights.
busy kicking his ass.
Exactly. Wolfie's got my back. Yeah, Wolfie.
I don't think he would have dropped the other two battles if he hadn't tried to ball up. He didn't get so balled up on Slacker. So
that's fair.
It worked. So that's what we're hoping for.
It worked. It's fine. Yeah.
So now I'm just like, I've won my 2 for the week, so I'm almost just like, I don't really care about winning the last one.
That's fair. How did you do on your ult?
I did end up winning. The guy actually, like, he went versus Ray and dropped the battle because I put Nest in there, and he kept he timed out. Like, Nest had literally no health. He must have kept staggering her to put her turn meter back. I'm pretty sure he
used on full auto.
Yeah. So he kept probably staggering her, and then it didn't clear it fast enough. But anyways, dropped that fight. Didn't do anything until I cleared the board. I dropped one battle versus his Reva team because I was just out of options, so I kind of had to go in and 2-tap it.
Yeah.
And then he came back, cleared like 4 more teams, and then dropped versus Gungans, and then left the board alone. Never came back. So, which I don't think they mathed very well, because I did such a shit job on fleets. Like, I dropped almost 20 banners in fleet.
Yeah, fuck fleet.
And
I've not had a good fleet week. I'll be honest.
And so I was like, if he had mathed properly, like, he would have stood a chance. But he must have, because when he dropped versus Gungans, he still killed Boss Nass. So it's like, it's not that hard to clean up now.
No. Without Boss Nass, there's no shield generator. Yeah, it's like,
so I was like, all right, well, I guess you just don't think you're gonna hold it together for the rest of the fight.
I mean, I think I burst a blood vessel facing off against SWGoH. So, like, that's fucking nasty. Why the hell have I been using Boss Nass-Cron?
Is
so
fucking dumb. Wild.
It depends. It depends on the trigger. So that's the issue. Is like, it's not always that bad with Jar Jar. I find in 3s that Boss Nass with Jar Jar and his Cron, or Boss Nass's Cron, it can be more problematic. But it depends on. There's just so many RNG aspects of it that you can't really deduce.
I was using GL Layer, and I have distinct memories of Jar Jar taking about 15 turns before I could do it.
Yeah.
I was just like, can I take a fucking turn? I was just like...
So this loops so hard.
It's like, wild.
He would assist for some reason, or he would do a mass assist, and then his turn meter bar would just go brrp, all the way up, brrp, all the way up, brrp. I was just like, all right, fucking okay. I was, my God. I took 3 attempts to kill that team. Stupid. Fucking Jar Jar.
Yeah. It's a wild team.
Yeah, it is.
It's a good character right there. It's a good team. I mean, obviously they won't be nearly as powerful without the team. Without the Datacron.
Yeah.
But still very powerful. Yeah. a lot of good stuff.
How was your GAC this week, Wolf? I know you weren't you facing off against Lolinda at some point this week? Or was that last week?
So that was last week. I was facing against Lolinda. Yes, I did. That was like the one fight that I actually sort of tried in, because I've been like busy the last couple of weeks watching my parents' dogs. So I've been out and about and around and whatnot. So I haven't really been able to do as many streams, as many actual GACs and everything. So I mean, this week I did 1 attack in round 1. I cleared round 2 and got the win. My opponent he did like 3 attacks and then dropped on Tuskens and said fuck it and wasn't gonna bother. I got like a 2060 or something, so it should be it was like enough that he just wasn't even going to bother trying to declare. But week 1 had faced Lolinda, and he was doing okay. He had dropped I think he had dropped like 1 battle on the bottom front, and then he like dropped 1 battle on fleets on Leviathan, and then messed something else over up in the back. So we just said fuck it and ended streamed and bothered finishing off. So that was a win.
Yeah,
But
good.
otherwise, it's 3v3, man. You know, we're getting through it. I will say though, this has actually been a really fun. Like when you can get things lined up right, there have been a lot of really fun things going on. I know you have been fun, just as I have been having fun with that fucking Starkiller Cron right now.
God, it's so good.
The attack again on basic.
Oh,
It is
Starkiller is
absolutely wild.
Nuts, man.
Some of these crons just A+ on fun.
Well, I mean, Ray's off defense for me now. Like, Ray's my JMK counter now. Like, that's such a good team. Like, Ray versus Mar is so good, dude. Like, I was drunk enough, and it was my 4th battle. So it didn't take very long for me to get kind of harsh pished. That I forgot that Ben Kenobi gives you instant kill immunity, right? Turn 1.
Yes.
So I was there like, what you gonna do? Who you gonna yeet? And I was like, oh, wait, yeah, you're just gonna waste it, aren't you?
Yeah,
and the Ma killed Cat. I was like, get screwed.
You had quite the energetic reaction to that on stream.
I did. Yeah. You got to keep it hype, Karth. Come on, dude.
It was interesting. I'm not going to argue these points.
It was good. Yeah. I mean, it was worthy enough for me to make a short out of it. So, yeah. But the attack again, Kron, is wild. I like Starkiller is just so strong now. Like he's terrifying.
He gets there so quickly in GAC because there's like he attacks twice, so if he can get crits, he's just gonna like ramp his ult so fast.
So it gives C attacking twice, getting twice as much turn meter.
Well, C does. C.
I don't see.
You mean
Palps? Obviously.
Palps doesn't attack twice though.
Oh no, he's not an attacker, is he?
No, and he only gets.
Mara Jade will though.
Mara Jade attacks twice and calls him twice with the basic. So. Is that right?
I don't think so.
She definitely generates additional.
She attacks. She attacks twice. She generates extra turn meter, and then calls Palpatine to assist, and then Starkiller assists twice because he's attacking twice because he's the fucking boss and an attacking critting. It's wonderful things. It's so beautiful.
Well, it's fun when you get the entire team into damage immunity before they take their second turn. You're like Ray's done 1 lifeblood, and they're all in damage immunity before they do anything. You're like, and then Starkiller is unleashed straight away. You're like, okay, good.
It's like, oh no, is she gonna whirlwind me? No, I'm just gonna loop turns until she gets to her ult, which is gonna do nothing because she's debuffed. Yay! It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. Oh man, it's so good.
I think I actually remodded my Palp in 3s to have just boatloads of protection as well. Because
in theory, there's something that should stop from Palpatine calling him to attack twice. But
what's up?
Oh, I said that in theory, there's something that should stop Starkiller from getting called to assist twice, or Palpatine being called to assist twice.
So Starkiller is attacking twice just because he's critting on his basic.
Yeah, no. What I mean though is that if Mara Jade uses her basic, because that's the only thing that calls Palpatine to assist is the basic. If she uses her basic twice, it should call Palpatine twice, which should call Starkiller to attack 3 times. I would have to try that out in a GAC rematch.
I just have to go back and look at one of my videos or something. All I know is that you start the battle and then you just do crap loads of damage.
Yeah, it's nice to have Starkiller back in a position to where he beats Ray, because I felt like Starkiller for like the last 2 or 3 sets of Datacrons has just been like, well, you go to deal with like B tier teams because you really can't fight the GLs anymore, and it was depressing.
Yeah, he's definitely done a 180 there. Like this Datacron set just does all sorts of weird stuff. To be fair, all sorts of weird stuff. Like there's so much damage output, damage potential, I guess, these days.
But it's all on like 4 or 5, maybe 6 different crons. Right? It's the attacker level 6, it's the support level 6, it's the tank level 6, it's like a couple little things here and there. Most of the power is just behind those 3 abilities over there. I mean, some of the level 3s are nice. So there's a couple more interactions over there, like the level 3 tank interaction with the revive and everything is great in a lot of situations. Some of the percentage health damage things are always come in handy, but a lot of this power of this Datacron set is just can you get the rerolls to target those specific abilities? Which they did reduce the cost, but oh geez.
We won our last TW, so we got, what is it, 80 mats? 80 level 3 reroll mats? 60.
Right.
60. Yeah.
I did 2 level 3 rerolls. I was trying to change my Bosk level 9, one of my Bosk level 9s, into a Gar Saxon one.
Sure.
All I got was the same 2 rerolls each time, and neither of them were the Gar Saxon one. I was very upset.
Oh, of course.
I was just like, all right, I guess I'll just not have this level 9 then. Fuck you very much.
Yeah. You don't need that level 9.
No, I don't need, my R9 Gar Saxon doesn't need a level 9 Datacron.
Yeah. Who needs it?
Stupid Datacrons.
Do you want mine?
Chap Carth. No like.
Well, that's the thing too, is that now that some of the crons have been fixed.
That's the broken tank cron. I'm so glad.
Yeah, I feel like some of this stuff's gonna shift as to like the most ideal. I think the wordy one is still good, but I think grit's gonna start playing a bigger role in the tanks that you want to have. But I mean, so much of it, I think, so much of the fun that comes with the tank crons is pairing them on a dark side team with a dark side tank revive level 3, because that's like Malgus and DTMG love it. Even Boss kind of does as well. Boss with the grit cron, I think, is going to be pretty strong in 5s versus Lord Vader teams without Maul, or even perhaps with them.
You just have to take him BAM, really, wouldn't you?
Yeah, which that's kind of a normal thing anyways.
Yeah.
But there's a couple things in there that could be interesting to see how they play in 5v5. But there's so much going on with this Datacron set and the level 9s. So it's just like, some of it's like absolute trash, and other ones are like must have Datacron. I was like, come on.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing some experimentation with the Sabine level 9 in 5s. In 3s, it just doesn't feel that worthwhile. For the time being, I've actually just thrown Sabine in my CLS team. So I'm doing a CLS Chupio Sabine with the Sabine cron, because I just think it'll be irritating.
Yeah.
Well, it makes it hard to outrun. A lot of people are doing Bo-Katan or Bo Mando with Sabine, and then either Paz or IG in the lineup there. I think actually you might have some fun going in
that could be fun
third as well, but it is annoying because the bonus turns are very disruptive, and then her AoE stagger is also annoying.
Yeah, and she does armor shreds, and it's got the attack again cron on the level 6, so it's like she's relic 5, she's not relic 8 or anything like that just yet. So I don't know, it got me 1 hold last round, so in my opinion, in 3s, any hold is like so valuable. Any kind of hold is like, yes, wasted a team, baby.
Always good. Always good.
Yeah.
Real quick, I'm not sure if you're gonna hear, but apologies if I dip out and because I lose power. There's like thunderstorms and shit going on right
wondered
now.
What that was. I think your mic suppression is making it sound like somebody's banging a drum. It's like boom, boom. I didn't realize it was thunder. That's kind of sick.
That's what it sounds like.
He's got a case of the bubble gut.
Maybe he had a Taco Bell earlier. Who knows?
There's a rumble in his tum-tum.
And there's a grumbling.
Oh, sweet Jesus, it is pouring. Okay.
That's good business.
All right. Sorry. See, if I lose power, it's been
we
real.
know what's happened. Yeah. Just have to, send out the smoke signals to make sure we know you're okay, Wolfie.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Anyways, what were we talking about? Sports ball? Right.
We were talking about how I want to do some fun things with Sabine. No, that comes off wrong. Jesus Christ.
Oh, baby. Well, she's an adult in the Ahsoka show.
As long as we're talking about the Ahsoka Sabine.
I was talking about the Datacron. Nothing else. All right? Just the Datacron.
All right.
part of me is almost like I just kind of want to throw her as a 5th in a Ray team, but I know that Ray team I want to be using Visas-Kron right now, so I'm just like,
I don't think Visas-Kron's going to do anything defensively different.
No, but I've already told you my Ray's on offense now.
Oh yeah. No, 100%. I feel like the fun part about this Datacron set in 5s is like so many of the like threats that existed last season of 5s are just nullified by the fact that of these new crons. Like Slacker, I don't think it's going to be long on defense. JMK, I don't think it's going to work on defense.
Oh no,
it's going to be really weird because I don't even think.
You know what is still really potent on defense though? Paddle Obi-Wan. Yeah, that thing is still lethal. It's just way too much damage output.
I look forward to seeing what the Cup Cron does with that team, because I have heard a lot of interesting rumors about its power levels in TW, and I would love to see an application.
I have a Cup Cron with the support. Yeah, my Cup is still currently. He's 6 stars, he's 7 stars, but I think he's still like Gear 1 level 69. I do have a sub goal to take him to Relic 9, but I think that sub goal is like still 100+ subs away. So I don't think I'll finish that.
Couple of weeks.
Well, I'm in the same situation as you. I have a Cup Cron and I have a support level 6 on it.
Yeah, so we're gonna be good when we eventually maybe choose to ignore gearing up Cup.
Oh, yeah. I'm never gearing up Cup. Unless he's a
You say that now. Well, sub goal incoming.
He might be a requirement at some point. There is a chance. Okay, I'm still of the mind that it's going to be Clone Wars Chewie and not Cup. Is going to be like the random fuck you requirement for Galactic Legend of Ahsoka.
Either way, I'm set.
But they could do Cup.
Cuff, anybody, and you're like, either way, I'm set.
I mean,
you got everything.
They could do Cup.
They might do Cup.
I'm leaning towards Clone Wars Chewie. I think I'm betting they're gonna do.
Then Clone Wars Chewie can't be. Well, either way, they're both meme characters, right? So I was gonna say he can't be a meme anymore, but Cup's already a meme. So
his Clone Wars Chewie, his only episode, in the Clone Wars TV show, was with Ahsoka. That was it. That was his only showing, was when Ahsoka rescued him, and then they escaped the island together from the Trandoshans and fucked them up, and he calls for his buddies for help. I think it's be Clone Wars Chewie.
But what about Clone Wars Chewie's 3-second star appearance in the Clone Wars Attack of the Clones?
Yes, this is true. He did growl real quick.
He was like a real pivotal part of that film, and he might have actually been really important, and we just couldn't tcome apart from all the other Wookiees. But the
droids did attack the Wookiees.
They did, and he was one of the Wookiees. So I'm gonna grab a beer. I'll be back in a sec.
If that is not pivotal, I don't know what the fuck is. So yeah, I'm saying if that's not pivotal, I don't know what is. Because the droids attacked the Wookiees. Yoda went to fuck up the droids and with the Wookiees, and that's Star Wars, man. Done.
Oh yeah.
Father's like, this fucking stoner.
I think they got too many things to pull from, where I would be surprised if they go down that road. But I don't know, to be honest. I'm just at the point now where I'm like, I don't really give a crap what her requirements are. All I really want to know is the next batch of requirements. That's all my brain's on right now, is what are you gonna make me relic higher next time? Ready, go.
Well, we know 2 of them.
Well, yeah, we know 2, Enoch and Death Trooper Peridea.
So the next batch is actually kind of boring. We only have 2 requirements coming out with the next batch that we don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of the downside, right? Is that there's just not a lot of interest on the horizon, and I don't know, kind of a bummer for me. I wanted to have some other things to start working on. So we'll see. It feels like a really slow burn on this release for her. So
yes, very slow. Which we were sort of discussing a little bit in recent Trap Talks, because we were saying how they were aiming for end of the year and whatnot, and this was gonna feel a little bit more drawn out, and it really is feeling a lot more drawn out than recent other GL releases have.
Yeah, usually
as we were expecting. so it has been.
Yeah, usually you get like 3 months lead time on a GL, and this one's like 4 to 5. And it's just like, oh, this has been something we can do. Just hang out and watch the Rex come in. But I feel like to a degree as well that it's going to be a fast turnaround to GL Thrawn. I don't think we're going to have a long wait in between the characters. No, I think GL Thrawn's going to be here within 3 to 4 months of Ahsoka coming
Really? Out. So you're thinking it's going to be what? So Ahsoka is going to be in November. So you're thinking Thrawn is going to be in what? February, March?
February, March. Yeah. I think March.
Damn, that feels early.
It does. It does feel early. But
I apologize to the Spotify audience who cannot see and witness and enjoy the kitties.
The
so you need to be on YouTube or Twitch to enjoy the ass. That's not a beer. You are correct, Vash. That is not a beer.
That is indie. But I don't think they're gonna wait too long. I feel like they're doing too much setup with Thrawn's team. That I feel like if they just like ignore it for another 9 months, that it doesn't work for me. But it depends on where they want to go with the character, right? I was thinking honestly, out of the two, that Thrawn would have been the first GL and Ahsoka would have been second, and that's not what happened. So
I'm not surprised they went with with Ahsoka first, just because I think she's a lot more established. You know, it was her show, and she was a lot more.
Sure. Yeah.
They have a lot more content to go off of for her. You know, as opposed to Thrawn, I think will feature a lot more heavily in the next season of the show, and then whatever movie. And I don't know what the fuck they have planned for the future. I don't know.
No, I don't disagree. There, it just doesn't track in my head for them to pick Ahsoka, because I don't feel like she's done enough yet to be Galactic Legend worthy.
No, but she did change her outfit though.
Yes. Oh yeah, she changed her outfit.
She did. Yeah, costume change. That's,
if it works for Gandalf, it works for Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, clearly a more powerful being at this point.
Yes, 100%. Those be the facts. That's how it works. You change your outfit, you go from a dark color to a light color, and you are more powerful.
Yeah, exactly. That's why later on I'm gonna change into, like, this is for all the listeners on Spotify. I'm gonna change into a white T-shirt with the black logo for the Adidas top, and I will be like twice the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes player I used to be.
And then you're gonna spill ketchup on it. No.
Yeah, I feel called out. I mean, how did you know, Wolfie?
I can tell the future. That's what always happens. That's why you don't wear white.
I look at you, Scribble, and I see a messy eater. That's what I see. Yeah.
No. It's just that whenever you wear white, it just attracts sauces. It's a law of nature. Yeah. If you wear something white, you will like get some spaghetti sauce or some whatever on there. It's gonna happen. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And some people say, like, you had it coming for eating spaghetti. My response to that is usually like, fuck you. I love spaghetti. Some things are worth having stained clothes for. You know what I mean? Some things are worth it.
There we go.
Spaghetti
is
one.
It.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I mean, most Italian dishes in general, to be honest. Like, any sort of pasta-based dish. Linguine, delicious lasagna. Yeah. Hit me, bro. I'm hungry.
Pesto's my favorite.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, my God.
Love me a good pesto.
Yep.
All right, so what are we talking about again?
Food, I think, mostly.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah,
bro. There was a restaurant by me I used to go to all the time. I think I mentioned this on stream before. Had a shrimp and pesto pizza, and it just like sounds kind of. It was absolutely amazing.
Shrimp and pesto is a strong combo on pizza.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I don't think I've ever had shrimp on pizza, but I can feel like that works. Yeah. Yeah.
They did not skimp on the shrimp. It was like fucking covered. It was dope.
I feel like that should be on a t-shirt. Don't skimp on the shrimp.
Don't skimp on the shrimp. I like it.
It's good business, baby. You know it makes sense. Yeah, so we've got Conquest starting tomorrow.
Oh, fuck you asshole. We were talking about food and you bring up conquest. What is...
Well, sometimes I just gotta bring down the mood.
Quit.
You know, I gotta keep us on the short and narrow. You know what I mean? It's my responsibility as the baldest person in this chat. Because Karth is only fake bald. All right.
I mean, the hair's back. It's there.
Yeah, it's kind of there. Yeah. And Karth does it by choice because of apparently that 100-degree weather he's been having. So
I mean, yeah, for the most part, it's just because I wear a hat all the time, so it's like I don't really care to do my hair up.
Yeah.
And then you're all caught up on the rest of it.
Yeah. So am I going to be?
That's all I've got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about the war. Am I the only person in this chat that's actually really considering just not gearing Luthen? Because I don't want to have to gear up Saw. I'm like,
I find I'm
one of the people. So go on.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll say I am one of the people in this chat who benefited greatly and fucking loved the Datacron for the 4 months that it was around. So I am very much looking forward to Saw being a damn good team again with that. Also, we're talking about Crons. Support level 6, throwing out debuffs. Guess who's the support? Saw. Guess who puts out debuffs? Saw. Guess who's gonna make things just blow shit up? It's gonna be fucking silly. I am so excited for that Datacron and Luthen. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Like, I know Karth was saying Chirrut and Baze, but with that setup, there's no real... Who's the attacker that you take in? Because that's why you want...
attacker.
Chirrut's an attacker?
Yeah.
I thought Chirrut was a support. Is he not a support?
No.
Chirrut's he's an attacker.
He's an attacker, yeah.
Huh.
And then
okay, Chirrut's going to be scary again then.
And then Kyle.
Yeah. And then Kyle Katarn. Yeah. And Kyle Katarn passes offense up too, so it's going to get real interesting.
Oh yeah.
God damn. My problem is I genuinely don't think that I can spare the signal data to try and gear this team. I've got the gear. The gear's not.
Again,
you've been gearing all the new characters recently. If you didn't have Med Trooper and Death Trooper and everything, then
the thing, and we talked about this last time though.
Yeah.
The thing of it is I don't think it will make a meaningful defensive or offense. I mean, it might be a fun offensive team to have in your back pocket, but defensively, I don't see this doing anything until they give Luthen Datacron.
Yeah.
Because I don't see,
and that's not until that's like a month today, right?
Yeah,
around about.
We got
2 or 3 weeks.
We got about 5 weeks because we got 3 weeks of 5v5 and then the off week, and then it comes sometime in between. So, it should be somewhere around 5 weeks. But Luthen's got a lot of potential, a lot of crazy things he'll do under Saw teams. I feel like it's going to be a good team overall, but it doesn't change the meta enough right now where it's like, oh yeah, for sure, this is going to be like a staple.
Yeah.
You think about like tiers. Yeah. Like ranking of conquest characters, I definitely don't think he's going to be like the most game changing. Oh my god, why do you not have this fucking character like Bane? Like Luthen, he's gonna be good. He ain't no Bane.
He ain't no Bane. No. I mean, Bane doesn't even feel like Bane anymore.
That's the problem. Is the Omicrons on him are not nearly the threat level that you would be anticipating from a conquest unit.
Which is really good for me because I've got 14 Omnis right now or something like that. So. And I obviously don't have the Saw Gerrera on me either, so it would be like,
and that's the thing is you kind of have to keep rolling all of this together. It's like the Saw Ami really helps the team pop off because you get that whenever he takes his first turn, he gets that immediate...
He gets like 14 additional turns, right? Yeah.
Well, so what happens is that Saw's when he throws the bomb out, if he has the Omicron, he takes an immediate bonus turn, which then he uses the missile launcher. The missile launcher. The TMR is from that ability cannot be resisted, and it's dependent on how many buffs it strips from both sides. So usually what happens is that pushes everyone to the floor, and then they have speed up, and then they just take their turns, and then you just have to eat it in the shorts. So there's like 3 turns back to back is usually kind of how that one plays out. So the it kind of sucks, but I mean, like, Luthen is gonna be ungodly fast. Like, his basic ramp speed, he is fast to begin with. He's just got a lot of stuff in his kit that's gonna make him really a nuisance. And you can't get rid of him right away. You have to get rid of the trooper that he summons, and one of the Omicrons allows you to immediately revive him and bring him right back. So you kind of get this fun little mechanic of like, pound some sand. But I mean, again, it's one of those things where I think in 5 it'll be fun and interesting, but it's going to be one of those things where you're going to have flexibility as to what you want to do with it. I feel like Luthen's going to become the 5th for like, do I use Momo on this team on offense, or do I use Saw and on this team on offense? And I think that's kind of the gist of it. Defensively, I don't see him moving the needle much until he gets Kron.
I think it comes back full circle too. Where I started with this is it's like it looks like Luthen is going to be the first conquest character that I've unlocked that I just haven't like Relic 7'd immediately.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for GL Ahsoka and
I must
Balin,
clutch my pearls.
Holy moly! Call the church. If it wasn't for the fact that we have GL Ahsoka and Balin Skull coming out over the next couple of months, and we didn't have about 152 marquees in the next 2 months, then I would probably do it. But I just don't think I can spare the signal data and the Zombies and the Zetas and the and all of the juicy stuff.
The relic materials right now, it's just like there's too much on the horizon for where you're at, because like you've got, I'm anticipating the Great Mothers to be a legendary with 3 Omicrons. And so it's like, all right, so there's that. So you need Morgan, you need the Great Mothers, you need the rest of the team to fill out that new team that's coming online. Then you've got the like 8 plus marquees between the GL Ahsoka and Balin. And so it's like that, and they're all going to be R7 requirements. Like, you're not getting around that. So it's just like you're pouring through relic materials just to stay current, and there's like one more team that wants to be a minimum of R7 plus. This is like,
remember when gear was the grind?
Wait? Yeah. I mean, gear is still the grind. The gear that you turn into relic material
to convert.
I'm not quite at that point yet, because I might have stuff and things, but there's still so much in my roster that's like R3 and R5 that a lot of the relic data for me, like, I never feel like right now I'm really struggling for relic gear per se, because I know I'm gearing all the latest stuff, but it's like it's one unit at a time, and that feels manageable. It's when you're trying to build out a whole team, I feel it gets tricky. So because I'm still like, after Death Trooper Peridea, I'm still at like 1800 of each Kyro attack for one, and
that's good.
Our guild has now got up to max box in the raid. So
beautiful.
Where, the income on impulse detectors and Zimbiddles and all that sort of stuff is back up there again. So it feels manageable at this point, but I know that it's manageable because I'm not trying to just up the average relic level of everything that I want to.
Right.
If I did that, then there's no hope.
If you're focusing on things, then you're probably going to be a lot better off. I mean, like my relics mostly recently have been all like super high relics. So like the earlier things have been, I've been like sort of collecting a little bit more. Recently there's just been the Queen Amidala team up to relic 9, the Gungans up to relic 8, whichever Jedi team up to 7 or 8 or whatever. So I mean there were a lot of like the relics have been recently. So honestly, since I've been done with the raid teams, I've just been trying to hoard as much as humanly possible, because I know shit's about to hit the fan.
Have you
baby.
Have you done your snips to R9 yet, Wolf?
No, I have not. I gotta do that at some point.
Yeah, I've left my snips at R5 at the minute. I've got everything else. Everything else is done for both Balin and what we know for GL Ahsoka, and we can talk a little bit about GL Ahsoka requirements in a minute. But I'm done apart from snips, because I'm like, I could R9 her, but we're getting so many marquees at the minute. I would rather get the new marquees up to R7 than have what I consider to be a useless R9 snips. I'm just like,
yeah. You don't need the Relic 9 snips. Yes, it does help her ship.
Of course,
yes,
it
does. Cool.
Yeah.
Yes, she does do more damage. Yes, but
I don't think it makes
you're probably better served.
right now.
You're probably better served having those relic materials ready to go. So like when you're, like right now, when you need to get your Death Trooper Peridea up to Relic 5, so you can get the extra benefit from all the rewards and stuff for the week.
Yeah.
Have your stuff ready to go for right now instead of wasting it for something which gives you a minimal benefit at most.
And taking him to R7 still costs less tier 3 sealing data than taking her from R8 to R9.
Yeah.
So
it's like
that's super expensive. So yeah.
Exactly. And to go from R5 to R9. So it's like, or it's like 35 to go from like R5 to R7. And you're like, I don't really care that much.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, no, there's no real reason to invest out into the characters outside of it. I would just hoard it, put it all aside, and then wait.
Yeah.
I low-key think there's going to be another R9 in the requirements.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Yeah.
And a lot of it comes from just the fact that the odds of a new capital ship showing up this year are getting closer to zero. Not quite there yet, but they're pretty far down.
We still haven't had a new ship. Like, I'm not talking about capital ship. I mean any new ship.
Or a new conquest. Yeah, and we know what the next conquest is going to be going to.
Exactly. The last new ship we had was the Comeuppance, wasn't it? And that was in January. Yeah. And we're now in August. Like, and the Comeuppance, we're not getting a new resistance fleet. So, like,
God, I hope not.
It's like, if there was going to be a GL capital ship this year, we would see something by now, surely.
It's August.
Yeah.
We should have something by now.
And like a GL, you usually have 2 to 3 months of lead time from the announcement to the release. Because I think we knew about the last one in May.
We knew about Leviathan
June?
just before we knew about Jabba, wasn't it?
Leia.
Yeah, sorry, that Leia.
I think either in the May or June road ahead, we got the Leviathan and then like the Leia tease, and then Leviathan came out in August, and then Leia came out in October.
Yeah,
but
I think it's just going to be the other way around. I think we're just going to get Ahsoka like late November, early December, and then we'll have a new ship January, Feb. Something like that, maybe.
I think if they're gonna go into Thrawn next, which is makes the most sense to me.
Yeah.
Then I don't think we get a new capital ship till next summer.
Wow. So we'll have like a 2-year gap between fleet metas.
I mean, I feel like they either need to do a better job building out the fleet, or they just don't know where to design the new fleet.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I feel like we either need more time for stuff to develop, or we need just a deluge of ships again, kind of like what it felt like going into Leviathan.
Complete side note, but also if the next time they bring out a new capital ship, it actually is the first time it's been possible to max Starlight Side Geo.
When they bring out the new one, it should add enough GP.
And I say it's only possible. It's only possible for literally the biggest guild in the world.
Yes. Yeah.
For every other guild, it's still not possible. And more importantly, why would you fucking do it? Because it's
just to say
back and rewards would suck.
Yeah. Just
the title could be cool, but that's
just for the title.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's a dick swinging contest.
Yes.
And do you really want to give up rote rewards for that? I don't know.
I mean,
maybe
listen, I'll join Ma for when they go do it, and then I'll.
No, Karth, you can't join more, okay? Because you join more, and you'll get a taste for it, and then you'll never come back, and I'll have to somehow wheedle my way into more, and I can't.
I already got asked that question over the weekend,
and you were like, no.
Well, just no. No. The answer was no, because I am too busy to go to a competitive TW guild. I'm
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't want to be setting
alarms. And don't want to leave him.
Yeah, exactly. It's because he loves me so much. There was a time when we weren't in the same guild together, and those were what Karth calls the dark days. He's never been so depressed.
The thing is, though, is that there was a time where that was correct.
Yeah, happy days.
Once there was a time,
and then Scribe left me.
Yeah. And I tried to take you with me, and you said no.
I mean, it's fair, but I
were in the same guild.
Try to do the good officer thing and hold things together, and then I got burnt out even further. So,
well, yeah, Yeah.
Or what? Just
Stuff
be done with.
happens. Stuff happens. But it's okay. We're back together again like a happy couple. And yeah. And for some reason we keep on getting Thrawn and Bomber in the same guild as well. I don't know how that happens, but I'm sure it's got nothing to do with you, Carl. Nothing.
I mean, I might do a little recruiting on the back end here and there to bring players that I know.
Back end recruiting, what's that like?
Worth my time.
Sometimes at the back end, you got to get as much recruitment as you can possibly do. You know what I mean?
Ooh, baby.
Yeah, baby. So there was something that I was going to say, but then we went on a massive tangent.
We do that a lot.
It was really profound as well. I think it was profound. Oh, no, I want to circle back to GL Ahsoka requirements, right?
Yeah.
I said, was it in last week's Tribes Talks that I don't think we would get round 2 requirements until Captain Enoch comes out? Because it just kind of makes sense, right? You know,
because they're not going to get the requirements until he's actually in the game, so they can show it up over there instead of saying coming soon.
Exactly. Unless CG actually quite literally changed the Ahsoka hub, we can pretty much say that 2 out of the next 4 requirements are Death Trooper Peridea and Captain Enoch.
Yes.
Who do you guys think are the 2 light sides that we're going to get? And this also calls back to Karth's, I think there could be another R9. So that's 2 questions. Who do you think are the 2 light sides, and who do you think is a possible Relic 9 for New GL Ahsoka?
Oh, man.
Clone Wars Chewie.
I would
mean, obviously.
No.
It depends on which part of the story they want to focus in on. I could easily see like Barriss and Plo Koon being the light side options. As Plo being the one that found her, and Barriss kind of being the reason why she left the Order.
Yeah, that's a huge part of her character arc. So
yeah, so I think those characters would make sense, and since they're both light side tunes, it does give. I don't know if they would do R9 on either one of those. Right now, if they were going to do another R9, I would assume it would be something more akin to one of the previous iterations of her.
I like Fulcrum, probably.
Fulcrum or Cat, yeah, one of the 2.
I think Cat's too generous, so I think it'd be Fulcrum if any of them.
You think they'll have more than one of her past self? Because they already have Ahsoka Tano. Like they already have Snips in there. Do they ever have more than one of the the requirements of the previous selves?
It's happened before, right? It has happened before.
I'm trying to think. Has it?
JMK?
JMK requires a R8 GK, but there was other prior versions.
No old Ben though.
But there was
Oh, Crew and OG Kylo, Boss Liveware. Okay, so I guess that's a good point. But they didn't really have any. And then Rey obviously would be Rey and Stick Rey.
Yeah, exactly. But didn't.
Guess they didn't really have much else to pull from.
But this is one of the first times too where we actually have a character that has.
C also had Sidious and Palps, right?
Did he?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure C had Sidious and Palps.
Okay. Yeah. So there could be a couple then.
It's been a thing, but I would be surprised if they don't include at least Fulcrum in the requirement at some point.
Yeah, he did have both. Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know where they quite land on the relic levels for that. So that's the only thing I would have in question is where the relic levels land for the new ones. But I think they'll skip Cat solely because it's too generous.
Weird. There's no previous. Sorry, I was just looking through the GLs. There's no previous version of Jabba required.
No.
I really wish we had could we please have baby slug Jabba?
Can we get Jabba's son from the very first Clone Wars movie?
No, we can't.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious.
Grub the Hutt. Yeah.
Yes, please.
That would be funny. Little Stinky, get Stinky out there. That's what she calls him the entire episode.
I'm so glad I haven't seen that film.
In fairness, it was it was designed for kids, and it's the original theme of the early Clone Wars, which was young audience, and then
it's
Clone Wars.
It introduces the characters.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Honest to God,
it's like Plo Koon. He's a decent Jedi. He can dispel on basic. It's not the worst.
Honest to God, upward inflection that we're using again, right?
Yeah, it has some of the funniest dialogue bits in the Clone Wars in general.
Really?
Because they just leaned heavily into like into the banter on the movie for like the droids. So
there's some
really,
ridiculous.
It's kind of funny. They did a good job making it entertaining, but the
you gotta watch it just for Kenobi, just like talking his way out of a thing like in the beginning, like just for that scene. You gotta watch it.
The negotiator getting his title.
The negotiator, yes.
Yeah,
it's actually really funny.
They leaned into a lot of tropes in that movie, which was worth it because the adults were the ones paying for the kids to go see the movie anyway. So you might.
And it's pretty short.
Fair.
It's not very long.
Well, it's still like almost a 2-hour movie.
Was it? I thought I remembered it being a lot shorter. Hold on. Clone Wars movie runtime. Hour and 38 minutes. Okay.
Oh, yeah, just over 2 hours then.
Hour 38 minutes. It's just under 2 hours.
Just under 2 hours by 12 minutes.
Oh, that's what I said. Maybe.
Yep.
Sorry, I said an hour and 38, not 138.
Oh, yes.
That was probably what you...
That's what I was thinking in my... When you said an hour and 38,
Yes.
I genuinely thought 138 minutes. I was like, okay. I got confused.
I got you. Yep. Yeah, 1 hour 38 minutes. So yeah. Not a huge time commitment, but it's kind of funny.
My brain works in ADHD ways, so you can't blame me.
So that's why I understood you. Okay.
Exactly. A kindred spirit.
Wait a minute. I'm learning so much today.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it is a funny like movie to watch. I wouldn't. It's not going to be one of those things that's like earth-shattering content, but it was.
Oh yeah, it's not like, oh my god, this is the greatest Star Wars ever. I mean, it's definitely no Acolyte. I can tell you.
It doesn't even compare to the Acolyte. I mean, I'm sure it's got slightly less nudity than the Acolyte.
Yeah, by
It's
a
got
lot.
slightly less bare ass.
Also, would be way weird if there was any nudity, considering the majority of the show focuses around child.
Yes.
Oh god.
Ahsoka
really?
was like, well,
Ahsoka's
it's when she's a
young.
Padawan. She's like what, 13?
Oh,
When she's introduced?
Yeah. You don't need to see
I think she's even
bare-ass
younger than
13-year-olds.
in the first one. I think she's supposed to be quite young, but I don't
In
remember.
my defense, I
It's
didn't
12 or
know it
13,
focused
something like
around
that.
a 13-year-old girl, okay? I remember way back when, before like the Clone Wars all came out, and then somebody told me, oh, by the way, Anakin has a Padawan, and I'm like, bullshit. Like, I've seen the prequel films. There's no fucking way. How would they shoehorn something as important as a Padawan into not a master Anakin? I was like, that's bullshit. And then everybody's like, yeah, Ahsoka's amazing. I was like, no, you can't just make up shoehorn a Padawan into that story. There was no room for it, damn it. And now I'm like, yeah, okay, Ahsoka's kind of cool.
I mean, it worked.
Yeah.
I think they did a pretty good job with it. I mean, I think they did a pretty good job, especially with the Clone Wars show, of keeping things to not messing up the canon. Within
They
the
did a
span
good job
between
writing her
episode
out.
2 and 3.
Yeah, just like the
They
Acolyte,
did a good
right?
job writing her out.
Oh my god.
They
the
did a good
Acolyte
job
could
writing
not
her
have
out.
existed and still wouldn't have done anything. I mean, like, the entire show is pivoting around these two characters that nobody cares about. The most important, interesting storyline is the two side characters, the two men. And then it ends by like going like, well, none of this really changed anything. By the way,
And in the end,
here's this one guy that's really
Yeah.
important.
It focused around two men. The most important and likable characters were obviously Yord and Basil.
Oh my
And,
god, fuck
like-
Yord. Oh my god. I laughed my ass off when Yord died. I'm not gonna lie. When his
was
neck
killed kinda
I
brutally.
laughed my fucking
But
ass
kinda
off. I was
died like a
fucking
bitch,
finally. God
be
damn
honest.
right. I was cheering for Kamira at that point.
I was actually
Oh,
like
God.
coming away from that episode. I was actually surprised they had the balls to be like. I was expecting people to die, just in general in the show, because of the premise of the plot. It's like they have to die because otherwise it doesn't make sense. But I wasn't expecting it to be quite that visceral when I watched the show. I was like, oh,
I was
That's a little
kind of
surprising.
okay with it, but like it feels like the next snap was just such like a bitch way to kill the character. I'm like,
what would you like? Hung, drawn, and quartered instead?
no, just we're using lightsabers, just stab them. Like, why why go through the extra
He's a
effort?
Sith. Why the hell not? I mean, fucking.
Because
I think that was great.
When you're dealing with 2 force power people, like, how are you letting him just stand next to you? It's not like
he's a bitch.
Exactly, but that's it's like the dumbest thing in the world. There's you can't force push him. I don't know. Choke him.
These were the worst Jedi like ever written in the history of Jedi.
Oh
like,
yeah, I'm not
by
arguing
far the
that.
shittiest Jedi. So
just stab them. So many times in the show, they're like unnecessary close quarter combat. It's like
the thing is, it's
dead.
like
them all like Jackie. Just
that episode. I think like the combat was actually enjoyable. The deaths were visceral. I actually enjoyed that. That was kind of cool in my opinion. Okay. But they completely undid all of that good work by how fucking pathetic the final death of Sol was. Like, I've never seen somebody show less emotion when trying to force choke. Vader had a fucking mask over his face and is more fucking empathic in his emotions when he's force choking someone than Osha was. Like,
real quick, I will say the combat in that one episode.
Yeah.
While it wasn't the worst lightsaber combat, I think it was for Disney Star Wars is probably one of the better ones that they've done. But I didn't fucking believe it. I couldn't believe any of it because he's sitting there going and wiping out all of these Jedi Masters, Jedi Knights, like the freaking red shirts over here who mean nothing. And then this Padawan over here is just like, "Rawr, I got 2 lightsabers now. I'm gonna," and just like she can hold her own versus like this. I'm sorry, what now? No, fuck off.
A Disney thing, man, though. It's like they just keep doing that over and over again.
It rips me out of the immersion. Yeah. It's just like, hey, that to me in a Star Wars show, the most important thing is immersion. And when something like that happens, I'm just like, well, just fucking nothing matters. Okay. All right, well, shit. So that's what rips it for me.
Do that, like you were saying, have those moments, like they're fine to have, but like maybe sprinkle in her background that she's kind of a prodigy or she's like an above average like sword fighter. Like,
well, because they could have
build it up a little bit to make it plausible.
If they took that same scene and did it differently, where they had like Master Saul was fighting Khmer the whole time, and like he was like playing the Soresu Master and was like playing defense over there, and then Jeki is like doing acrobatics like a Ahsoka sort of character. It's like doing acrobatics and like going around like trying to nab him and do stuff like that, and they're working together, and you see the master and apprentice sort of dynamic. That would have worked. It would have been fucking perfect. It would have been amazing. I would have been absolutely all for it. And instead, they're just like, nope, she's a god for some reason, and then just dies.
Hey, at least she dies though. Like, that makes me feel a little bit better about it.
Yes.
It's like, she had one cool moment, and then she went away forever, like she should have in the first place.
Yeah.
But back to what Scribe was saying. Yes, completely emotionless. Like, what the fuck was that force choke? Anything,
even the way she held her hand irked me. It's like this sort of fucking limp dick hand that she's got. It's like, you're making. How am I supposed to believe you are force choking someone with your grandma's arthritic hand coming out in front of you? Like, can you open this bottle for me, Sol? It's like,
take my strong hand.
Take my little hand. They could have made that scene so cool if she got angry, and instead of him like kneeling down and choking, that he literally like lifted off into the ground and choked violently to death. It's like they pussied out so hard in that last scene.
The thing is too, though, is that like so much of that show was just like, we have to be incompetent to make the plot go forward. And like that just sucks. Like so many times they could have killed either like Khmer or Sol, and they're just like, nah, but you're not supposed to die yet. So, anyways,
we'll kill you later.
Have you finally seen the pitch meeting for the Acolyte?
I have. Oh, yeah, I love it.
Oh my god.
It was good.
Proper communication would get in the way of the story I'm trying to tell. Come on, like just. Who's to say why characters do what they do? Could you imagine? That'd be nuts. He just fucking nailed it.
It just hit so many spots of the funny bone that I'm just like, oh my god. It's honestly like it's the funny part when people like, oh well, they're too critical of our show, and that it's not, they just hate us. It's like, no, you honest to God wrote a story that only exists because people have to literally look at the worst option and go, this is the best path forward. Like that is such a shit way of writing. Like you're never gonna redeem that with the player, like with the fans or the viewers, because there's like, well, dude, like why did you let her live? Like she's assassinating people, she's doing these other like bad things. Like why are you not like? And they don't ever really do a good job of explaining.
I'm just reminded of the pitch meter where they talk about, you know, and then they have to wipe May's memory, which is apparently a power he can do now for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, like why
they can't just go off with him? No.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
He's like, what?
And then like it doesn't go back and report it. It's just like, oh no, I'm just gonna deal with it myself because I feel so bad about what happened here. It's just like
I bet it's gonna be hard for the choke out that Jedi Master after just fought off the Sith. Actually, super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Yeah.
Barely an inconvenience. Yeah. Oh my God, God Almighty! I just don't understand at what point they want to stop using like storytelling tropes. Do you know what I mean? Like, one thing is to have the entire show's premise being around two twins, light side and dark side, one good, one evil. It's like, fuck me, that's done to death already. Can we not have the whole story based upon that? They have a mysterious... it's like a young adult fucking
What they're meeting
story.
Is the dumbest thing in the world, right? Like, hey, your sister committed this crime while you were clearly nowhere nearby.
Must be
and they acknowledge that in the beginning. Like, oh, you are planets away from this. No way to get there. Working on a ship as a repair person.
Could not have actually traveled there in the amount of time
have done it.
since it happened. You have an alibi.
And just like they're like, well, we're still taking you in for questioning. You're like, wait, what?
Not forget that this is also the Star Wars universe where you have things like shapeshifters and this sort of business where we've seen fucking Sam Wessel, right? I mean,
oh my God.
But no, it has to be this person that couldn't possibly have been there.
No, as an alibi. Well, we're still taking you in for questioning. Okay.
Nope,
but you're really important because you've killed the Jedi Master. Okay. Well, let's put you on an unguarded ship. That'll work.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute.
Wait, no.
And then the whole backstory is like the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. They're like, they make the two mothers seem like incredibly sinister characters. And then when Soul dispatches one of them, she's like, oh, I would have let her live. You're like,
everything
that was not the vibe.
Maybe
everything
don't turn into
leading
a
up to
vampire
that
demon.
scene. Everything leading up to that scene made no fucking sense. The whole setup to get there made no sense. Jedi Padawan, I just want to go home made no fucking sense. Nothing about any part of that made any sense.
When are we going to get to the point of the petulant apprentice that just wants to go home?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the food that I'm eating, so I want to go home. Oh, that's his motivation? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to run in and disrupt a negotiation with a new group of people because I'm hungry.
Yeah.
But again,
and then 16 years later, I'm going to kill myself over it.
Yeah. So Saul is there, and he sees Smoke Demon Lady transforming. He sees May getting vaporized, who he thinks is Osha, and is like, I'm gonna kill the crazy Smoke Demon bitch.
I mean, to be fair,
for some reason that's the wrong thing.
I would definitely try to kill the Smoke bitch as well. If she turned into some weird evil demon dust, I would be like, fuck that thing. Like, Jesus Christ.
110%. And I see her dissolving the child that I'm trying to save. That I was just told was to be part of some sacrifice. Because remember, like a couple hours before, she was told we're going to be sacrificed for the clan, like for the witches and everything. So this is what he's going based off of. This is some fucked up shit he thinks these people are doing.
Yeah, nothing in the entire instance would give you any reason for Soul to think that he made the bad choice.
Yeah.
And this is what haunts him for the next 20 years.
It goes back to what Cass says, where she's like, I was going to let you do it. It's like, well, fuck, maybe you lead with that instead of turning into an evil demon.
Yeah, and also this is the best part of that, is that the person who is basically not in a corporeal form anymore, stabbing kills her in one shot, even though you're aiming through mostly mist.
I'm
like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Look, man. a force cult of witches. They operate in strange ways. Just how apparently breaking a mind control of a group of witches just immediately kills all of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, or how a stone fortress goes up in flames.
Yeah, stone burns.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know that electrical fires just travel through the systems, and they just like go and they can start. If you light like one outlet on fire, like if you take a Bic and go light an outlet on fire, it's gonna go all the way down to the generator and blow the whole fucking generator up. But don't worry, there will still be enough power so the elevator will work 16 years later.
Exactly.
For them to take the elevator up. Don't worry. Don't
Absolutely.
worry.
All you have to do is take the panel off. It's not like it needs a generator and a source of actual electricity first. It's fine. It's absolutely makes complete sense. Also, Khmer apparently just instant transmissions into the temple. So, and we saw earlier that somebody else just walked up the side of the ziggurat.
We know that works because Riva does that to get the Tatooine. So it's a dark side power.
True. Yeah. That
very few dark side individuals have.
I guess
it's just transporting places.
I guess that's why Osha had to force choke Sol, is because she knows that lightsabers don't normally kill people.
She's watched episodes.
Unless you're a smoke demon. So they
unless
kill
you're
you if
either
you're a smoke demon,
or if
you're
you are
Sabine.
if you're Jackie as well. And those other guys that did get shish kebabs.
Well, that was 3 lightsabers. That was 3.
Three stabs.
One stab doesn't do it.
Triforce.
Three makes sense.
Even 2 doesn't do it because they used 2 in Kenobi to kill on Riva, and that still didn't kill her.
But it wasn't at the same time. It wasn't in succession. They were
well, 2 was enough to kill Savage.
Vader stabs her with both sabers.
Oh, does he? Oh, I thought you needed one.
I don't remember that. Yeah.
I can't remember.
I haven't seen it in a while. No idea.
I have to grab.
I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. I do not. I do not know. I do know Savage died by 2 lightsaber stabs from Sidious.
They were the 2
fucking amazing. That was a great duel.
There were the 2 Jedi Knights from the Khmer fight that did get shish kebabs. I like everybody else was like, that's really lame. I thought it looked kind of cool. He force pulled a guy onto a shish kebab.
Oh yeah, I thought that was fun.
Honest to God, though, it's one of those things where I wish they would have taken like the scene that they had with was it Osha and Khmer where they go to his like little hideout and they have to talk about like his
love den.
Yeah, his love den.
His love cave.
Love Island.
There should have been like at least like a minute above, like before that, where like him and May are talking about his relics and what they do, and because it's like, well, yeah, because he goes in and like gets he headbutts the lightsaber and it deactivates. It's like, guys, you realize how small of a fan base is gonna know what kurtosis is?
Yeah.
On just looking, like
he makes an offhanded mention about it the next episode.
Yeah, but again,
I mean, I didn't know what kurtosis was. I was like, the fuck is that? I had to get told what it was.
It should have come before, is all I'm saying.
Well, I knew what kurtosis was, and as soon as I saw it in the lightsaber duel, I was like, fuck yeah, kurtosis, yeah, get that shit in here. And then when they tried to turn it into it's also Magneto's helmet, but is also an echo, like what the fuck is happening now? That's when they lost me.
You're just being
kurtosis in Legends, it's good to fight the lightsabers, it's good that sort of it's gonna shut off the lightsabers. Very very good for that. Tough to work, more on the brittle side, so it made sense that the helmet sort of broke. I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, it looked like a massive.
But you're telling me that this helmet is going to block off all of the force power, so nobody can sense him. Also, he has no visibility, but somehow is fighting with the force.
Yeah,
but he can sense through the helmet, which is blocking the force.
No, yeah, but Wolfie, what you're not understanding is it has to work that way to let the story happen, okay?
Exactly. Yeah.
All dark side villains need a fucking cool helmet, and this one it's a helmet.
That's the saddest part for me, though, is that like Khmer, hands down, the best thing to come out of the show. And
apart from Basil, right? Apart from Basil.
Oh God, no! I don't even know. I don't know what story that is off the top of my head. God, nope.
Basil exposition.
But he, like, hands down, one of the best things to come out of the show, and then it's just like we finally get a cool portion of him, and then like it shows like, well, maybe if we get a season 2, we'll expand upon more of this. And I'm like, you could have done a show without the twins at all, and just having Khmer do
it would have been better.
Do these Jedi hunting Jedi down to prove himself to Plagueis,
yeah,
and
exactly.
that would have been a better show by leaps and bounds.
It would have 100% been a better show if it was Khmer as the acolyte trying to do stuff for Plagueis. That would have been a cooler show. Also, while we're just on the notion here of really stupid parts of the film, of the TV show, how about in that last battle where there was actually some really cool moments in the Sol versus Khmer battle, but one of the parts that didn't make sense to me was when Sol broke Khmer's lightsaber, but he still has half a lightsaber in the hilt.
Yeah,
and he never unattaches that and uses it. Why? Like, what the fuck? It only cut off like the top half of his lightsaber. Why didn't you just go, I still have one?
That's like a very common trope. If they're like down for the tropes, that's like, oh, my sword got like cut in half. I'm still gonna fight with like whatever's left of it. Like that's a trope. You see it. Like they're all about the tropes. Come on, that's like you don't have to force that one. It's just right there for you.
He wanted to have the little lightsaber. You could have just pulled that little one out and been like, ha ha. But he was just like, oh, I guess I'm screwed.
Come on.
Yeah.
Also, real quick on the Plagueis bit of it, hunting down Jedi is not what they would have been doing.
No.
Like at this point in time, they're in the hiding. They're getting ready to take over the Senate and take over like the galaxy and everything. Well, they're not trying to go off and hunt down individual Jedi.
No,
that's like so far away from what they would be.
I feel like Khmer's backstory though, and if he was trying to earn favor with Plagueis, I think he would have done it on his own just to be like again. If Plagueis had a different apprentice at the time, or even Sidious was the apprentice at the time, or whatever you want to say or do, because the characters live longer for whatever reason now than they've been established to live. They could have done something like that where like the Khmer isn't really a Sith. He's a fallen Jedi, which is his kind of his established backstory, right? And then you could just had him go kind of like, I'm doing these things trying to earn this guy's favor, but I'm not like ordained by him to do it. I'm just like, how will I get this guy's how will he show me favor, and kind of play into some of those early like the old Republic style of Sith. It's like you had a bunch of acolytes competing essentially to a degree to earn favor with the Sith Lord to become the apprentice. So like it could be kind of fun to lean into that trope a little bit more, and instead of this Osha May where it's like Khmer is trying to get an acolyte to work for him and do his bidding of things that don't make sense.
But that doesn't really make sense again, like in the context of like the current Sith. It just doesn't.
Oh yeah,
like,
no, I
work with
I
what
get
they're trying
you.
to do. They're trying to like work in the shadows and execute
they
the
threw that out
and everything.
out the window anyways. Because
Like,
honestly,
no part of this like feels like the rule of two Sith.
Yeah, but if Sol wasn't an idiot, the entire rest of the show wouldn't have happened. Like,
I mean, if it weren't for idiots, none of the show would have happened. I mean, let's be honest.
I honest to God, that lady with the whip lightsaber, I wanted her to be the bad person so badly.
She
kind of is though. Let's be honest.
She is.
Oh, she is. But like,
bad person.
I wanted
she
her.
Fucking lied to the Senate or whatever to cover up that her fucking Jedi apprentice, whatever that fell and became a Sith. She put all the fucking blame on Sol and said, "Oh,
I would have loved it if she was the one that killed Sol." I think that would have been far more interesting.
But and again, she did this, but there were already live witnesses. There are people who witnessed things happening that she just lied about. Like, how the fuck does any of this make sense?
I think Karth's got a good point there. With if Vernestra actually killed Sol, imagine now at the end of the last episode of the season, where she goes to see Sol after he's been force choked. That Sol's still alive, and she kills him. Then that would have been so much cooler. That would have been so much cooler because that would make her so evil.
If she went there with because she goes there with other Jedi too, right? Or is she by herself?
No. She goes with the whole group of Jedi.
If Sol was still alive and tells her what happens, and instead of providing care, she kills him and then the other Jedi and retreats back just to cover everything up. I think that would have been it would have been a way cooler way to be like, all right, this is why she can't let her failure get out. So she's willing
to just kill everyone.
To hide it. And I feel like that's kind of the vibe you get with her throughout the show. And I'm like,
it would make so much sense. Sith than anything else.
Well, but it would make so much sense why Khmer like has such disdain towards her.
Yes,
and you could have made a far more. Yeah, you could make a far more interesting, like second season out of that kind of interaction.
Speaking of second
part
season,
of his fall was because she sucks so hard. Yeah.
Genuinely, I would be okay with a second season if they just did away with everything and they actually showed young Palpatine as an apprentice. I'd be okay with that. Let's just see how Palpatine becomes an apprentice and learns the ways of the Sith. That would be sick.
I would be okay with them elevating Khmer up further because I mean, clearly there's
I don't mind Khmer. Khmer's kind of cool.
There's a tie between Khmer and Plagueis already. Because there's no way Plagueis just shows up at his love den without.
No, he's clearly Khmer's master. Like that has to be the case.
Well, that's unfortunately been so every time an episode comes out, there's like another 15 interviews that Leslie Headland does to like clean things up and explain things because it's all written like shit.
Her writing is shit. Yeah.
So apparently she has confirmed in interviews that yes, Khmer is currently the apprentice or the Padawan, whatever, of Darth Plagueis. He officially is part of the Rule of Two, which I think is absolute fucking bullshit. Like no part of him feels like a Rule of Two Sith at all. No part of him feels like anything following that sort of thing. So
like
clearly she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about.
Yeah.
Clearly she doesn't.
Her understanding of Rule of Two is like, oh well, there's two of them. I'm like, but like I feel like
it's stupid.
Like you took no lead off the Rule of Two and you immediately went into like the Star Killer dynamic where it's like, I've got my own person I'm trying to train to do the stuff and things.
Which I mean, they would frequently have like their own apprentices and everything. Like Palpatine had Darth Maul while he was still apprentice to Plagueis and whatnot. You're still
Dooku.
And
was Dooku afterwards? Dooku was afterwards.
Yeah. Dooku was afterwards. But like Dooku had an assassin. Dooku had Ventress. So there was always like that sort of dynamic was pretty common in the Sith and whatnot. So I don't really have a problem with that.
Well, she was never technically a Sith though. She was an assassin.
Yeah.
That was trained in the ways of the Sith, but she was never an actual Sith.
Yeah.
And same with Maul and
Rule of Two.
Yeah. But yeah, they should have leaned into Plagueis earlier and then like shown a reason for Khmer to do any of this like secret training kind of bullshit because like it doesn't make sense. And all you know that's going to happen at some point is that Khmer is going to try to fight Plagueis with Osha or May, one of the two, and then either he gets abandoned by the twins and they retreat to go somewhere else and give up this Jedi lifestyle that is apparently the most toxic thing in God's green earth. And then Khmer faces Plagueis alone and dies, and then he goes and gets Palpatine. Like, there's just too many things where it's just like, how do you
I'm gonna put it out there. I'm okay with Khmer just not dying in general. Like, I would like to see more of him.
I feel like he has to. I feel like he's a character that once you write in that he knows Plagueis, like, again, it's like once they brought in Ki-Adi-Mundi into the show. Like, you knew they were going to kill everybody because Ki-Adi-Mundi, like, oh, well, we can't break canon with Ki-Adi-Mundi being like, oh, the Sith have been dead for a millennia.
My biggest issue with Ki-Adi-Mundi is not that technically it means everybody. I mean, there is the fact that it kind of foreshadows everybody's going to die. Okay.
Yeah.
My biggest problem was it was just completely fucking pointless. Like,
oh yeah.
Why have the guy in there for 3.5 seconds? Just to say, hey, look, there's the guy you know.
Same thing with Yoda's cameo. Yoda could have easily been Yaddle and done something different, but they're like, we're gonna spend the last episode to bring in these like cool characters. I'm like, well, we knew Yoda was around forever. I mean, Yoda's been around for like 800 years prior to the episode 1, so it's like,
yeah, he was definitely alive. I mean,
so it's like, why do we bother to bring this in? Like, there's no reason for this, and they're like, yeah, but shush you.
Yeah.
So much of that show I would just be okay with. The best thing to come out of the show was the pitch meeting, hands down.
Dude, absolutely.
That was the best thing that came out of it.
Oh my god!
Was the riffing on it?
I will say it was a couple of good months of like YouTube content of just like, people just
there was
going
a lot
on
of
and
rage.
bashing on.
There was a whole lot of rage. Yeah.
There was a lot of creative bashing of all of the episodes, and it was I did get a lot of enjoyment out of watching all the breakdowns of how shitty everything in the show really was. Because oh man, a lot of fun things, a lot of oh god, this show. But you know,
I mean, Robbie's talking about Cam's age. Like that to me is like such an irrelevant point that I don't understand why there's so much rage about it. It's like Kiadi-Mundi was given an age in a non-canon based medium. So who the fuck cares? Like, it's his age. That's not important.
Oh, the age is the least like, of anybody's problems with it.
Oh,
it was just like
there's plenty to have. Like there's plenty in the show to get angry at. Cam's age is not one of them.
That he bothered to show up in the show is the more egregious part. It's just a cameo thing to be like, oh look, Kiadi-Mundi, and I'm like, nobody cares.
They could have used somebody who was actually supposed to be alive. Like that's what pisses everyone off with the age thing. Like, why not use somebody who was actually supposed to already be alive? Like, people were expecting Plo Koon was going to be there because he was actually old enough that he would have been alive at that time. So people were expecting, oh, if they respect the canon, they know the stuff, maybe they'll bring in Plo and that he'll be there. It makes no fucking sense for them to just go and change it to make him older, to make him whatever, just for absolutely no fucking reason to break the canon.
Zero relevance on the plot, more importantly.
For zero relevance in the plot.
I mean, almost every cameo did. Almost every cameo in that show had zero relevance to the plot, though. Like, there was no reason for it to exist.
Well, I think
Yoda was
just
people
there
off for no reason.
Yoda was there just to like be like, oh, look at the hype. Fucking post-credits scene.
The very end of the show, like, come on, like, we brought this really cool character.
You only have to look at that is a product of MCU post-credit scenes. That's all that is. That's just like, oh, let's build people's hype for something else. Like,
I don't have keys near me, but I'm gonna jangle some keys. You want to see season 2? You want to see season 2?
Yeah. Needs to learn that Star Wars and the MCU are not the same.
No, but they're just owned by the same people, and Star Wars is clearly trying to piggyback off of the formula that the Marvel Cinematic Universe used. That's what they're trying to do.
It has only failed.
Not very well.
It's only failed. Like, they have never done a good job of it, and I don't understand why they keep
I completely agree. I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying that's what they've tried to do with that. That's all it was there, was to try and build hype. And I think Plagueis made sense, kind of, because they had to explain. Kamir didn't just suddenly figure out how to be a Sith and know what a Sith is.
Again, I don't think Kamir felt like a Sith at all.
To the end. Why wait to the end? That's my only thing. If you want to drive up Plagueis being a thing and you want to get involved in that story, then like, why wait till the very end of the show to be like, oh yeah, and Plagueis is here? Like, we couldn't have a freaking like Snoke moment in episode 7 where it's like there's a hollow call between the two. Like, oh my god,
I think if we're talking,
apparently not.
I think if we're talking like realistically, like as far as if they were to follow like real Star Wars canon sort of stuff, then Plagueis's purpose on that island would be hunting down Kamir and killing him because he's making too much noise and is going to bring too much attention to the Sith.
Which would still have been a better storyline than what we got.
Nothing Kamir said like felt like a rule of two Sith. Nothing he's did or anything felt like he was serving the grand purpose of Bane.
As like, you guys actually know, like, I don't know any of the EU stuff. You know this. I've got very limited knowledge on anything extended universe. Is there novelizations? Is there anything about Plagueis that's actually canon? Because I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
It's not canon. The Plagueis book, I don't think it's actually canon.
I thought one of them was.
I don't know, so I'm going on you guys here.
I do not believe it's actually canon. No.
Okay, fine. So, yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, in that argument, they can do whatever the fuck they want with him, right? Surely.
Oh, technically they can, but I'm just saying, like, as far as the rule of two,
they could choose to respect his like previous iterations in what's now considered legends, right? If there is nothing canon, but they don't have to necessarily.
Because even then, I'm talking about rule of 2 like it actually means something. Like it actually means fucking anything. Like the rule of 2 is from the Bane book. The rule of 2, technically those words that there are 2 Sith is canon. But all that we know about the rule of 2, none of that's canon. It's all extended universe. It's all the Bane books. There's the Bane trilogy where he goes over and extends everything, explains all the stuff, and goes over all that stuff. All of that stuff is technically extended universe. So when I'm talking about like what the rule of 2 is and like the formation of it and like all the stuff like actually explaining what the rule of 2 is, all that's extended universe. The only thing that we know about the rule of 2 is that always 2 there are, no more, no less, one apprentice and one master. That's literally all that is actually canon established. As far as I know, if there's more, please let me know. Of the actual rule of 2, so, like in movies, books, TV shows, and everything, it's just that.
I guess from a canon perspective, they didn't actually break any law because there isn't actually any canon law around it, but it is disappointing to people that have enjoyed. On the canon. Well, I mean, it's not canon. They're pissing on non-canon, right? They're pissing on previously established, now no longer canon shit, and that's not exactly a good thing because that's pissing off the actual loyal fans who would even know anything about it.
Exactly.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm understanding the position here because there's fucking too much Star Wars. Like, there's too much.
And their iteration and their new version of it is worse than the previous version, so it's not even attracting new fans. Gotcha. So it's pissing off all the old fans, and it's not attracting new people. So it's
because
they're double-ended fucking themselves.
They kind of did. They went off the beaten path a little bit when they did the when they did Starkiller, right? Starkiller was kind of one of those characters where it's like, Vader took a secret apprentice and did this, that, the other thing, but like they keep it in the same way that they've done it before, which is like as we
apparently
said,
Vader just likes taking on secret apprentices.
Well, but Dooku had Asajj, and Sidious had Maul, and they had their own weapons, and and for the most part, the master allowed these things because it allowed them to keep their, complete their objectives. But the second they became too powerful, they would have them murdered, usually by the master of the acolyte, to prove the loyalty to the master. And
because they didn't want to be overthrown. Because the whole point of the rule of 2 was that you didn't want 2 weaker people to go and gang up on and kill the stronger master because you're weakening the line. If you're doing that,
so that was the play. It was like it was allowed to a degree because it would further the goals, but you had to, if you got caught, you basically had to put it down, And so you see that happen with Starkiller. You see that happen with Savage and Maul in the Clone Wars series. You see Dooku try to assassinate Asajj, though very indirectly, just kind of. Hey, you're kind of in a bad position. No reinforcements. Sorry.
Good enough.
Let's hope you die when the ship crashes. Well, yeah, that's how Asajj survives it. But then Dooku almost dies to Asajj because he doesn't kill her. But they do a good job balancing. Like they never really say that the assets can't exist. They can't have dark side agents working for them. But it's clear that once it gets to a certain power level, the master either intervenes or the apprentice overthrows. That's kind of what happens at that junction. So it's like the apprentice wouldn't overthrow the master without having some sort of apprentice set up for them, because then it leaves them in a very weakened position. So that's how it plays out to a degree, is that they have somebody already kind of in line to succeed them. So.
Generally, you don't always like Plagueis killed off Tenebris before he actually had an apprentice lined up, but Sidious, offed Plagueis when he was already ready to go with Maul. So it's you'll play it differently, depending on how it just works out,
Fair.
As far as the dark side builds it.
So a lot of things with this show. It's not that I really give a shit about what they did with lore. That's really the issue. It all comes really back to what's said in the pitch meeting. It's just like the writing is so
it's not good.
It's so contradictory. It doesn't even make logical sense, and they don't even put a reason as to why the characters are making poor decisions. Like, the characters just make the poor decision because they have to.
And then also
so the story can
in
happen.
some of the lore stuff, some of the lore stuff, even within that, the stuff that they're doing doesn't even really get explained or make sense or like have anything you can really, you know, just because I like going into the lore. I like, you know, going and explaining things and just like seeing what's going on with all that stuff. I like delving into it. So if they actually have some interesting lore, I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm.
But you think about the thing with like the twins. They weren't actually twins.
No.
They were like the same like person that was split into two people. But they were nothing alike. But they were nothing alike. They weren't like two sides of the same coin. They
looked really similar though.
I mean, yeah, they look really similar.
I just love that they bothered to make the main actress the same for both, but then the child actress they got two.
Yeah, right. Oh my god. Like, close enough. Whatever.
They're identical, but they're not. Yeah.
But that whole setup and everything, it meant absolutely fucking nothing because they didn't. There was no explanation. There was no anything. There was no. It's just, oh yeah, but we're twins, but we're not. But like It's just. What the fuck are we supposed to do?
The interview at the end. Well, then you have to go to the interview with Leslie to get the answer, right? Like this was Plagueis' first attempt at trying to have a child through the Force, conceived through the Force, and it's like, okay, but you see why we should have known this in the show and not waited for you to go to an interview and tell us.
And if that's what she's saying,
it doesn't
then
come
she
across
doesn't
that way
fucking
at all.
get it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
that's the thing. They don't really.
There's no connection that we know of between Plagueis and the witch cult.
Exactly.
And if that's what they're going with, that doesn't even make sense within the previously established everything.
I know it doesn't have to.
So what I'm saying is within previously established stuff, Plagueis didn't create Anakin. They were trying to create life, and the Force created Anakin as a reaction, telling him to go fuck himself to bounce off the dark side. Like this wasn't even Plagueis. It wasn't his creation. It was the Force that just did it in reaction to him. So this is it was his first attempt. He succeeded somehow, but like didn't succeed. Like
different. I mean, same.
Anything.
No. Wolfie, I'm not even convinced they read the scripts they wrote. Okay, I'm just saying.
You are correct. Yeah.
Just thinking again. I know we were talking about how people do things that were nonsensical, but I laughed in the pitch meeting when you have Sol holding up the bridge. It's like, why not just hold up the kids? It's like, shut up, okay?
I don't shut up.
Exactly. Like so much of it. Well, it's exactly, but it's like at the same time, it's like, okay, if he can only choose one, like why is he not injured or some like incapacitated to some degree where he can't do it? Like he's perfectly fine and capable of doing this. You're like, but there's two and I'm not strong enough for both. Yeah, I can do other things 20 seconds later because I'm powerful. And I'm like,
and he barely exerted himself in that fight. Like he was just sort of being all dodgy and stuff. Like he didn't do much like to really, you know.
Yeah, I love how like the first time they fight, Sol beats the living piss out of Quimir. And then the next time it's like I get my ass handed to me. And like
no, I meant before he went. So like when he went to go rescue Rosha and May, the last thing he had done was just like be all kind of dodgy with the Wookiee and then the Nessus the witch and whatnot. So like, he didn't really even exert himself all that much before them. So he shouldn't even really be all that tired.
Also, like the guy getting clawed in the face, like what the dumbest thing in the world. Like why?
Because Mad Claw, bro.
I think it was just so they could force the Mad Claw thing, which doesn't even fucking make sense because his mind was taken over. I don't think Mad Claw applies when your mind is taken over.
It's the dumbest thing in the world that they're like, remember that part from KOTOR? Let's sprinkle some of that in here.
It's really okay.
I don't think that applies when you're mind controlled.
It's so they could send whatever the fuck his name was, the Wookiee Jedi.
Yeah.
It's so they could send him to a remote planet so we could have
his name.
He was so meaningful that we had a scene where he was killed off screen.
I forgot his name.
That's why they did that.
Dude, it's
they didn't have time. They didn't have time to do the Wookiee fight. It wouldn't have narratively worked for them. They needed to have the dramatic entrance of the Khmer over there, the apprentice or whatever his fucking name is. They couldn't have him. They couldn't have him fight the Wookiee first. It wouldn't have worked narratively.
Khmer's force push on Viagra. That is just like it's got a lot of thrust. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's like a whole lot of thrust.
I love how you have like the whole thing in Star Wars is like the reason why Jedi and Sith, when they fight, they can't really use force powers on each other is because their minds are trained to resist and anticipate the use. Right. That's the whole shtick. That's why when Jedi are fighting, they're just not just like chucking the force at each other and going, I got you. It's like, no, you have to wait for an opening or a weakness in the fight.
If one's more powerful than the other, then yeah, but exactly.
Yeah,
there's the mind battle going on in addition to the lightsaber battle. So yeah,
and then Pamir's just like, nah, 12 of you? Force push y'all off a cliff. Cool, thanks. It's like, wait, what? Like, come on. Like, it was a cool effect, don't get me wrong, but like it was just it's just like what you keep changing his power levels based on what needs to happen, and that's just such a shitty way to write a character. Oh, you're really powerful, but then you gotta be like shitty so that you get beat by this guy. Then you're really powerful and you beat him, and then you don't, and then some little 5-year-old shows up and kills him for you because they need to for the story. Like, oh well, this is stupid.
That's how storytelling works, Carth. When you aware,
Stuff
happens because it has to.
I mean, I just wish that they would give a care about narrative. Like, can we go back to like letting the guys from Andor have a little bit more say in what the hell?
Apparently not. Apparently not. It's not allowed.
Hey, if there's no miscommunication in the show, then there is no show.
Exactly. People have to make dumb decisions, guys. That's the way it is.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Our job is to get you back to the ship, but we should go help our friends. You're right.
You're right. Sol gave me a direct order, and I told you 3 seconds ago that it was a direct order, so we have to go.
Yeah.
But then he's like, actually, you have a good point. Let's go back, and I can get my neck snapped.
Yeah,
like
with the lamest argument in the world. Not even like a good, like she makes a compelling case, or you hear
it's
them
like everyone's gonna die. Oh, in that case.
Yeah,
that's why we are running. That was Did you not get that earlier? Are you just figuring this out right now? Yeah. Oh my god. How are you just figuring this out?
Robbie, nobody understands what Sol did wrong. The worst of Sol's crime was he didn't tell Osha that he killed her mum. That was about it.
He didn't explain himself properly. Yes.
Yeah. That's literally it. Yeah, that's why everybody has to die because of that.
It's just
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Indara killed 30 witches somehow with
But again, how? She just severed the connection.
Jedi mind trick also severed their spinal cords at the same time.
I assume they passed out because they were overexerted or something, and then they died from the smoke inhalation or something. Are they really going with she killed them? How?
Yeah, I genuinely thought they did just fall unconscious, but no, apparently she just killed them. Straight up killed them. Don't know how. Yeah, she
even then
willed them to die.
They were mind controlling her friend, and her friend was going in terrassing around the shit. So yeah, she's justified breaking the connection. I don't think she's supposed to know that it's going to kill them. I doubt that she has the ability to kill all of them. And if she does, I guess the power of one is greater than the power of many. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that undermines all the witches in their fucking man.
Have you watched the Deadpool Wolverine Deadpool pitch meeting yet, Scribe?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've seen that.
He's like they use that quote. The power of two. I like that. That sounds good. We'll use that somewhere else.
yeah, I've seen it. It is good. Yeah.
Oh my god!
I want to watch Deadpool and Wolverine again. That was such a good film. Not all hope is lost. Apparently, there are still good films coming out that do good stuff.
Well, but I think with that too, it's not just Deadpool was a good character to run with. It's the quality of the actors that are in play too. That they give a care about what they're doing, and they're somewhat invested into how things play out. Because even some of the interviews with Ryan Reynolds on this Wolverine and Deadpool movie, it was he's like, we floundered for 2 years on a story trying to get something to go.
Yeah,
he's like, and honest to God, it wasn't until Hugh Jackman called me up and said that he would come back that we had any idea what the hell we were doing with this story.
Yeah. So what gives me hope is that they said they want to do a film with Spider-Man, And that's a whole other level of difficulties because of the whole Sony contract and deal. But if we can have Deadpool and Wolverine and Spider-Man in a film together with Deadpool levels of production value and comic book jokes and shit like that, I am so fucking down for that. That would be such a great film. Oh my God, give it to me. Give it to me so many times over. I'm so sold. Yeah, I fucking love that film. So Disney can apparently do some stuff, right? Just leave the the Disney hand doesn't need to touch it that much.
Just go back to hiring qualified directors. Like, quit doing. And I know this is always going to come out wrong. Quit doing the diversity hires. Like, quit hiring people because you want somebody that is XYZ on the box checkbox. Like, bring in people who are tried and true and know what the hell they're doing, and let them go. Like, we clearly are not in the era of content right now where as long as it has the MCU badge on it, people will buy it and watch it and consume it like no other. Like, put competency back at the helm. Then we can worry about everything else.
People want to have good films. That's all they want. They don't actually like. I'm fine with representation. I'm fine with it, but it should be there if it serves a purpose and if it's good. It shouldn't be just like, oh, we need to make sure that we've got every ethnic and religious and sexual and gender-based group represented for the sake of having it represented. It should be there if it serves a purpose, and it should be good. That's all it should be.
You can do it, but it's under the guise, and you can't make it the character's thing.
No, it can't be the driving purpose behind everything that they do.
It's like you can be really cool and then happen to also be XYZ. Yeah. But it's like, no, I'm really cool because I'm this. I'm like, all right, I'm just interested in your character now.
I get really frustrated when the thing is, I get frustrated when people get annoyed at the fact that there's representation, not DEI. I just mean general. If somebody is gay in a show, I get really annoyed when people are like, fuck this is DEI bullshit. It's like, no, she just happens to be lesbian.
Does that ever actually happen, though? I've never actually seen that happen.
Every fucking way.
No. Where I'm saying, like, somebody's complaining just for the fact that they're, like, a lesbian in the show. Like, if it's, like, being... Like, when I hear complaints, it's, like, that it's forced. That it doesn't make sense. That, like, they're just doing it, like, for, like, that, sort of thing. Yeah. I don't hear anyone complaining that somebody is gay. Like, no one fucking cares. It's more like, why are you doing this? What is the point of doing this?
Yeah,
it's just forced.
When they have established characters that all of a sudden are like, I also happen to like other genders. You're like, wait,
yeah, we're just like, oh yeah, by the way, Dumbledore is gay. Why? You just decided fucking out of nowhere? Just like, how does that add to his character? How does that establish anything? What does that mean for it? It doesn't make any sense. That's the sort of thing where it feels like you're pandering. That's what pisses at least me off, probably personally.
I disagree. As a long-time Harry Potter fan, it didn't bother me in the slightest. It was so unimportant because his
bothered.
His sexual preference never mattered in the first place. So it's
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just saying why.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, well, why not? On the other side, like, what does it matter if he's straight?
Because like you said, it didn't matter to his character. No part of that character made a difference, straight or gay. So why are you even saying that? It feels like you're just pandering. It feels like you're just saying, I'm doing whatever social thing.
Because it actually did serve a purpose in the story. It served a purpose in the story around Dumbledore's fatal flaw of seeing the good in everybody, and he happens to fall in love with someone who is inherently evil, and he got corrupted, and it's his biggest regret. He ended up killing his own sister, that sort of thing. And that is a driving point of the entire plot. It's not made implicit during the story, but it doesn't, it didn't have to be implicit that he was in love with him, so it didn't bother me when it turned out it was. I was like, oh, okay, fine. I don't think, I just don't like it when people just lose their shit over it. It's like, how can we ever have any sort of representation if any slight thing that they don't make a big deal out of it becomes a big deal? And that shouldn't be the case.
I think the interjection with that is just is that it's coming back when it's politically advantageous or socially advantageous to make that's I think what the rub is like you take a character who it would have been fine if he was at that time gay. No one would have given a shit if that just happened to be how he is. But you wait a decade and you're like, oh yeah, by the way, officially oh yeah, totally. Like, oh, you guys didn't see that? I'm like, well, not everybody, clearly.
And maybe Gandalf was a bad example. That was just thrown out of nowhere.
Gandalf.
Maybe not the best example. But
Dumbledore.
Oh my god, Dumbledore. Fucking.
I mean,
wrong
they're
wizard.
basically the same fucking character. Let's be honest.
But yeah, it's that's I think the part where you get upset is when you have established characters where they come back and they add details that don't necessarily would have mattered at the time one way or the other, but then they're like, oh, but now it's a big deal because socially it's a good time to make announcements and whatever
there's
else.
way too much of that sort of. It's what do they call it? Like it's not. It's kind of like greenwashing, right? But it's kind of like DEI washing a show for the. It's there for the sake of it, and that's never fun. Like
it's like I forget what the term was. It was like something baiting, like gay baiting or something like that, where they just like will throw in a character who's like, oh look, this character is like a little bit gay, but like not really, to try and sort of pander to a certain audience, like Finn.
Well, yeah,
like
Finn, I was gonna say
like the Finn Poe relationship was like a maybe, but maybe not, and we can hint at this and like maybe try and get people to like it, and it just that to me it just feels like so fucking shameless. Like what the hell are you doing? Like come on.
Like we're gonna see where the audience lands on this, and then after the show's release, we'll be like, oh yeah, they were totally in on each other. Like you're like, wait a minute, can we at least like see that in a movie? Like not come in and interview it. Like I
if
totally
they're writing it, if they're doing it purposefully, if it's trying to make sense, if they're going for that, then fucking go for it. You know, tell that story, make it happen, write it well. I am all for it. Awesome. If you're just doing it to pander to people and like a narratively whatever, then you're doing it for all the wrong reasons, and you're hurting the cause.
It ruins.
I really feel that like whenever you try and do some like any of those whatever like DIs whatever sort of stuff, and then you make a shitty product in the process, you're hurting your own cause. Like you're doing more damage than you would have done otherwise by just making a good product. So sorry, Scribe.
I was going to say one of the shows that has managed to do that sort of representation well, I think, is actually Stranger Things. Now I say this, and then I got reminded that Will was like made gay in the last season, and that one kind of was like, okay, well I guess he's gay now. I'm not sure why, but with the girl that I can't even remember his name. In I think it was the second or third season, the girl he worked in the ice cream store with. And he had like a massive crush on her, and she turned out to be lesbian, and he was like heartbroken. I was like, that was a good way of having like a meaningful, like gay queer character in the show, where it was like, it's not everything they are, but it's an important character point and serves a purpose in the story that isn't just around the fact that she's gay, but it's also serves as a mean of character development for other characters within the show. It's like, that's done really well there. And it doesn't, that's unfortunately not what we see in most films about this sort of thing. It's just like, I wish it would take that approach more frequently than just what we get.
It's doing representation the entirely wrong way.
Yeah,
it's just,
well, exactly.
It's taken well-intentioned, but just doing it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Well, it just becomes so overt that it becomes the driving force of the narrative and not the story. And it's just like, I don't watch the show to see why a character, how gay a character can be. Like, I watch a show for a story. It's like, so if you can't provide the story, you just, like Wolf said, you end up hurting the cause more than you end up helping it, because now you have a bad product that is directly tied to the thing that you want to try to promote. Like, okay, well, you see how if you have a sour taste on one end, it's going to carry through? No? All right, cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, somewhere in this podcast,
I don't know how I don't know how we got onto this, but apparently we established it very clearly at the start of this podcast and of every episode that we do, that this is a Galaxy of Heroes podcast, that we sometimes talk about Galaxy of Heroes. So,
there was
kept it relatively Star Wars based.
It was all Star Wars based until the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, that was my bad. Sorry, guys. I slapped me on the wrist. I fucked up. We spoke about Harry Potter and Stranger Things. I can't wait to watch more Stranger Things. I think the last season's the last season, which makes me cry. But there we go. I love Stranger Things. Like, fucking, it's good. It's good shit for a nerd. It's good shit for a nerd.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if we have any Tribe Talks questions, guys. I haven't looked.
I don't think
we do actually.
We do.
Oh,
we have one.
We do.
Came earlier today. With Luthen out in a few weeks, where do you guys seeing landing power-wise? We kind of answered this already. And what will be his ideal teams? Oh, and then they said, okay, you guys have answered it. Apparently, Arnold has pushed out a video showing him beating Leia already. Probably Barbarossa content, I guess.
There's I think it was the Conquest fight. He just had them attacking Leia.
Really? Because he put out a video earlier today, literally.
Oh, today.
Like,
so I haven't seen that yet.
An hour and a half, 2 hours ago, basically.
Yeah, because Barbarossa is pretty good about not putting stuff out until close to character release.
Yeah. So maybe he's beating Leia and Gungans, apparently. So yeah, I mean that's interesting. That's interesting. I haven't looked at Arnold's video yet, so we can't really comment on it. But if it's happening, how thorough is Barbarossa in his testing like that? Does he go in with like GAC Omnis? Does he take Datacrons?
Yeah, he takes no Datacrons, but the teams are maxed on both sides, but they have their Omicrons active for their respective game modes.
Mm-hmm. Beating Leia, Lord Vader, and others apparently. Oh, okay.
Watching it beat Leia right now. It beat Rey.
Damn.
Beats Lord Vader. Oh man.
Holy shit.
I needed another Lord Vader counter. Sorry, what was that?
Me too. I need more Lord Vader counters because I never see him on defense.
He's
actually, you say Leia though?
Yeah, beats Leia with Saw. Beat Rey with Mon Mothma.
That kind of makes
Mothma
sense. Used to be that.
Mothma beat Rey before, yeah.
Yeah, with all the TM generation.
Then uses Momo to beat Momo to beat Leia as well.
There was obviously anti-Mothma comps.
Saw to beat Slacker.
Okay.
Ah, okay. Well, holy shit, that's really fucking powerful. I'll be honest. Beating that many GLs for a non-GL
That's pretty
team,
good. That's
very good. Now I have to, fuck's sake, how am I gonna gear up all these damn characters? What are the comps used, Karth? You said Saw lead. What are the splits?
It'll be Chirrut and Baze.
In Saw lead, it is Chirrut, Baze, Kyle Katarn, and then Luthen and Saw lead.
Exactly the team we said earlier.
With the Momo team, it's Kyle, Luthen, Scout, and Pow.
Yeah, that makes sense. TM generation.
Yeah. TM looping. Queen Amidala. Momo beats
Zeta on that Pow.
Looks like you lose. You lose versus Queen Amidala. Okay. At least with Momo. How about with Rebel? Oh my god, it smokes the crap out of Queen Amidala with Saw lead.
Wow, really? Holy moly.
Again, this is going to be an offensive team. I don't see this team being defensively viable.
Okay.
Because it's too easy to pick apart. Like you just have it's the mechanics you can get torn apart, and I think for the most part, Gas still stands a good chance because there's so much buff generation.
So much buff generation, yeah.
That it might do reasonably well. But I think a large portion of it is too is that support cron's going to just do fucking crazy things.
Yeah, for sure. I just don't think I can. I don't think I can spare all the relic mats.
Yeah.
God damn.
It's a lot for the whole supporting cast and everything.
Or the Omnis. Or the Omnis. I just don't have the Omnis.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Thankfully, only one Zeta.
Yeah.
Right now, Zetas aren't my issue. I'll be honest. I'm back up to 150 something Zetas.
Oh yeah, nice. And then Glat drops and you'll be broke as hell.
Just a bunch.
I mean, that's absolutely true. Glat and Balin.
Yeah. Plus the remaining like 5 marquees. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll all go. But
you can't really afford to just. I'm in the same position on my alt. I've like 150, 160 Zeta somewhere in there. It's like, I know I'm gonna need.
I'm not going to be willy-nilly spending them. That's for sure.
Like they're only going on the new marquees and new characters. I'm not doing anything else. So.
Yeah. That's the only way I'm able to maintain any sort of gear stash and ability stash that I have is that I'm not going back and upgrading things that I really want to, like rounding out my teams. I would rather just make sure that I can jump on the new stuff straight away. Eventually, I'll catch up. Maybe.
Yeah.
Just need a little bit more whaling, I guess.
I mean,
I've just been pushing relics on old teams.
All the problems.
Yeah. I'd love to push relics on old teams. That would be fun. There's so many teams.
Or,
well, that and hoarding.
You know what you need to do, Scribe? You know what you need to do?
What do I need to do?
You need to just take new characters to Relic 8 right away, and then you never have to come back to them.
Ah, see, that's the smart plan. Just R9 everything, day one.
Honestly, funnily enough, since Starkiller came out, that's what I've done for the most part.
R8 every new character.
Just R8 them because it's hard to come back, and a lot of them end up having fairly viable reasons to be up there. Yeah. I will admit that Tarful feels kind of wasted still because he doesn't have a good companion to really make that team
We just
pop.
need more Wookiees, don't we? We need more Wookiees.
We just need an Omicron on them for GAC. Put it on Clone Wars Chewie or somebody, but give them an Omicron to give them some viability. Because in TW, they actually are kind of fun, but
he'll get
GAC,
that. He'll get that TW on me when he becomes an R9 requirement for GL Ahsoka Tano. That's what'll happen. They'll be like, "Oh, we're updating Clone Wars Chewie. He's getting an Omicron for GAC, specifically a Wookiee-based Omicron."
Yeah.
Can't wait.
So bummed when Queen Amidala was like, "No scoundrel Galactic Republic though," and I'm like, "Damn it, poor Clone Wars Chewie's got no home. He can't be anywhere fun."
They're like, because you cannot have Cat working with her. All right, that's the rule.
Yeah,
she belongs with JMK.
Yeah, that is the facts.
Bless. All right. Cool. Well, I don't think we have any other questions, so maybe we wrap it up this evening, unless there's something you guys want to chat about.
I would like to chat about having lunch. So.
Oh, what we having?
Munchies.
Probably bacon and eggs.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, I'll see. I imagine Mr. Calvin Awesome is probably live right now because GAC is live. So I'll see about raiding over to Mr. Calvin Awesome. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you, Carthrick. Thank you, Wolfie, for joining me once again for another wonderful episode of Tribe Talks, where we talk about stuff that sometimes relates to Galaxy of Heroes. It's always a good time. And we'll see you all next week. Are we good for next week? Should be? Cool.
Should be.
Good. That's what I want to hear. All right. Thank you, all you wonderful people at home. We will see you all very soon. Peace out. Big love. All right. Now, where is that thing? Where's my YouTubes where I can send people over? There it is. I found it. Don't worry, guys. I found the place where we can stream over to other people. Add a redirect. Calvin will get the redirect. There we go. All right, guys. Big love. Love y'all.